Hello. Hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me okay. We are streaming for OneShot. Well, I'm not streaming one shot. Okay, let me make sure my microphone is good. Microphone is good. Oh wait, I see the microphone. Hello. Hello. Hello, it is I. Microphone. Microphone. Sorry, testing my little guy right now. I haven't used it in a while, so it's a little out of sync, I think. Microphone. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you are prepared for an unforgettable luncheon. Anniversary. Haha. That's a little bit I do here. Hello, what? Happy, oh gosh, my 9th year anniversary of OneShot being on Steam. Woohoo! Woohoo! Can we get an F in the chat? Wait. F is bad. Can we get a pog in the chat? Yes. Can we get a pog in the chat? Let's do a pog face. Pog. So, apologies for starting the stream kind of late. I actually debated on doing a stream at all today because I went to the scary dentist earlier. It was indeed quite scary. They put a bunch of needles in my mouth so that they could numb me for getting fillings. But now I have fillings, and one of the fillings was in my front tooth, and that was not fun at all. But yay, happy anniversary! Woohoo! Happy anniversary! Woo! Wait, that's like yummy fillings. So true. All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna do what I normally do on any anniversaries that we don't have any big things planned, which is to do a doodle stream, talk to people about the development of OneShot. People could ask me questions about the development of OneShot if you so choose to be, if that's your thing. And yeah, let's just in general have a good chill time. And I'll probably go on for like however long I feel like. I'm still recovering from the whole getting my teeth drilled into thing. So I'll try to not get it going for too long. But we'll see. Okay, we will see. We will see indeed. Now, so the art, yes. All right, let me just gonna start the day off. I'm basically doing the thing. Whatchamacallit? It's like doing it draw pile style, huh? Alright, let's see. Stabilizer. My tablet. I haven't used my main PC tablet to draw in a while, so I'm a little rusty. Okay, so let's start with something easy that I've drawn a million times. Let's start with the Nico. That's okay. Wait, no, that's wait. Is that how I draw? Okay, I'm already tripping myself. Wait, Nico needs a nose. Nico needs a cat nose. No, I feel like this is more Ling. I give them very similar bangs because they are to me protagonist bangs. Those are the bangs that the protagonist has. Also, it's just easy to draw. It's easy shapes. There we go. This separate what separates Nico from Ling are these sausages on the side of their head. I lovingly dub them as sausages. They can. Alright, let's zoom in a little. Just get in the ears nice and good. And there you have it. That's a Nico. It's a I normally draw a little scarf in here. And that's how I normally like sign collector's boxes and stuff. Now imagine drawing like 200 of these in a row, because that's what I normally have to do every time I send out like try to like get a bunch of collector's boxes ready for cons or get into like the place they need to be to ship out. Physical edition, it's autographs that you already bought the collector's edition when it was first out. Ah, okay. I mean, if we ever see each other at a con, if I ever like go to a convention or something, bring it over. I'll sign it for free. It's a lot of people ask me to do it at cons, and always happy to oblige, as long as my arms aren't cramping too much. the Messiah looks very colandry today. So true. So true. Okay, there's another one. We could go simpler. We could go more abstract. This one eye is a little big than the other. Okay. Still the same strokes. There we go. It went really fast. Yeah, like we didn't have that much in stock anyway. At least not where our warehouse is, quote unquote warehouse. As if it's not just my friend's room. My friend has an online shop, so she is way more experienced in this kind of thing than I am. So instead of trying to take away precious time from game development to do it myself, I just pay her to do it. Okay, let's we got a little more abstract, Nico. Roblox. Oh, I actually got to try out Roblox a little bit earlier this year. One of my friends was really into it. Uh, I got to see how they make the games. It reminds me of how it like Flash games. Let's try to draw a Roblox Nico because I've seen some Nico costumes on Roblox. I think they look like this. They look like little Legos, and then they look like, but they also look like Minecraft. And then they would have custom custom outfits, but they look like little Lego people. So they have like little Lego people limbs, right? They have the little Lego hands. Did they have like elbows? I forget. That's a Roblox, Nico. Uh, it's all I know is that Roblox has a ton of like cus- custom outfits. There we go, Roblox, Nico. it it looks just like a robot. I guess that's what the role in Roblox is. Roblox Nico. There, boom. Ro Roblox with elbow sunkers. Okay, so they don't have elbows. They have just straight arms and I assume straight legs as well. So let's just get those. Give them little Lego feet. There we go. That's Nico one shot everyone. Nico one shot everyone. They built the robot Nico in memory of them. The memory of the real Nico who exploded. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the one who tell you this, but Nico exploded in popularity after VR chat came out. That's one. Oh yeah, speaking of VR chat, I haven't played it in a while, but I remember this was back in all the way back in 2019, I believe. Yeah, 2019 and something like that. And then I was there at 2019. Uh, I was there at my little MacFest table with Artist Alley and a bunch of one-shot prints and whatnot. And here we're just doing, guess what do people call these things? Story time? I don't know. So there's me. Wait, I'm not a stick person. I'm a robot. I'm gonna draw me a robot. And there we go. Me at my Artist Alley booth. And then a bunch of people came up to me. I will represent to them as these adorable little dogs because a lot of people can come over here in these full furry costumes. They are very cool. Let's have them be cute dogs. And they're like, hey, they're like, all right. And there's a Nico print. Just let's see how small of a Nico can I draw. I got it. Okay, that's Nico. You have to believe that's Nico. I actually have multiple Nico prints, right? And there's here's another Nico. They're they are not identical Nico prints in real life, but let's just pretend it is. And the furries like not just furries, but multiple MagFest attendees are like, "Hey, I've seen this on VR chat." Like so many people during MagFest 2019 told me that like, "Hey, is this character? This is the character from VR chat," and I was like, "What's VR chat?" Right? So I went home and I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, that's VR chat. What? That's amazing." Anyway, that's the story. Probably didn't need a whole illustration, but you know, gosh, I am so rusty on actually drawing on my main tablet. This is the tablet that I mostly use for pixel art now. It's because it's easier on my hands than the mouse. If I want to do like a normal illustration nowadays, I just use my iPad. It's so much easier on the wrists. All right, let's make now let's go into the microscopic realm, and let's make a microscopic Nico. Oh wait, that's oh gosh, that's a little too small. A little too small. Ah, we can still do it. We can still clutch this. So earlier today, me and Gur were watching a video about like Mob Psycho, and then I think it just came up on an algorithm or something. Anyway, it's a Mob Psycho video, and then we watched it, and it was very fun. And then we got like jump scared by Mob Psycho music. Or gosh, no, we got jump scared by OneShot music, not Mob Psycho music. And they were just dead ass playing like OneShot music in the middle of the Mob Psycho video that we were watching, which is kind of hilarious. Anyway, microscopic Nico. Microscopic Nico. Happy anniversary. Thank you. You too. Wait. Why did I say you too? It's not your anniversary. It's our anniversary. It's like going to a restaurant and, you know, the waiter says have a good meal and you say you too. All right. Okay, let's do the microscopic Nico. Gosh. It's really fun to do this stream. I'm glad that like if I don't get to do anything cool for the anniversary, at least I get to do a stream as a treat. Almost didn't have the energy to do it today just because of the whole getting my teeth drilled into thing. But oh, that this Nico is turning out to be really cute. What would you call this art style? 2-bit? Right? It's like what 2 bits because it's 2 colors, or is it 1 bit because it's 1 color? Looks like off Nico. Kind of. Yeah, because off has like this monochromatic style, right? I mean, why am I saying right? I know what off looks like. Huh? There we go. We got this. So December 8th is when the Steam version of OneShot came out, but in late December, that's when we first started working on OneShot. That was 2013, so almost 12 years. Almost 12 years ago. Oh, how time passes. How time flies, huh? And then that was the year where during like I got my first ever video game console. I got my Nintendo Switch. Not my Nintendo Switch. Oh my god, this was pre Nintendo Switch. Jeez, get your facts together, dude. If you're gonna tell the kids about, right? If I'm gonna tell the kids about how back in my day we used to go up hills both ways in the snow, then at least I could get my facts right. Anyway, it was not the Nintendo Switch. It was the thing that was not the Switch, the 3DS. Yes, the 3DS. 3DS console. There we go. Microscopic Nico. So small. Let's zoom out. Look at it. Incredibly tiny. Incredibly tiny. Anyway, back in my day, it was like Right, I got my first ever console for Christmas that year. I was 21 years old, and it was like the Nintendo 3DS. DS. I don't know how many of you in here are from that era, but I still think it's my favorite console ever. It has the right form factor, you know. It has like two screens, and then all the buttons are here. Right, and the top screen is really big. And then on that 3DS, I played one game and one game only, Pokemon X, and it had this cat. It had my favorite Pokemon, which is Esper, and drawing Esper from memory. Let's go. Okay, I'm not doing it justice. I'm really not doing it justice. Anyway, it was very cute, and a lot of Nico's expressions are based off of Esper. One-shot characters in Tomodachi Life. You know, I never got to play that one. That game was like what, $40, and back then I just didn't have that kind of money. Like, I think I had enough to buy Pokemon, and that was it. And then the other games I played on it are Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright, both of which I got secondhand from a friend. And I think I also got Animal Crossing New Leaf. That one I think I got from eBay. They're all secondhand. I think I got Rune Factory too. That one I've yet to play though. As per mentioned, objection. So true. I think I actually played Phoenix Wright early on in the pandemic, and I was like, wow, this game is cool, but the courtroom scenes are bullshit, and you know it. Oh boy. Okay. 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 We've drawn like 5 Nikos. Actually, we've drawn like 2 big Nikos, a Roblox Nico, very small print wall Nikos, and then incredibly tiny Nico. Incredibly tiny Nico. Look at it. It's like a grain of sand. Look at that. It's a grain of sand. Nico Attack of the Clones. But can we go even smaller? That's my real question. Can we go smaller? Like, to what abstraction can we distill the essence that is Nico? Okay. If I were to use some colors here, that would really help. But, oh. Among Us! Among Us! Among Us! It's Among Us! Among Us! Okay, I'm leaving this one up. I'm leaving this one up. But can we turn this Among Us into a proper Nico? They will not have their eyes, but that's okay. I'm not sure if it reads. I don't know if it reads at that scale. Like the little. Hmm. 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 I think this is a little too small. Can we go one step bigger? Oh, I was supposed to get like froyo today. Then I was like, wait, let's actually go to that restaurant that that has the boba that I like. So we went to the restaurant, and they actually don't have the boba that I like because last week a car crashed into the side of the building and destroyed their fridge. So they have to like get a replacement fridge. But in the meantime, they won't have any boba. I think they had other fridges, so they could still make their regular food. Okay, no, this is not good. Uh, let's see. Now that we made a Nico, I'm gonna make Ling. I'm gonna make Ling because Ling is technically part of OneShot. Oh dear. There we go. Let's make the background transparent. And there, boom. Ling is taller, quite a bit taller than Nico. Alright. Just gonna... And he has feet. Like, that's how I got... Margin of the strange. Gosh, I can't believe the Kickstarter was like already a year and a half ago. Where does the time go? Alright, I'm gonna... Should I do human version or moth version? Let's remove his hat. He doesn't need a hat. He's not Nico. Gosh. It looks like he has a bite taken out of him. That's just fantastic. Okay, let's give him a moth. Let's make him a moth. Ling, beloved, is your top 3 favorite characters. Oh, thank you. He's very good. I love writing for him. I like writing a character that's a little silly. I feel like these shoulders aren't reading. Okay, how's this? There we go. You get your hands. Okay, and there. I need to do his wings, but there we go. No way I'm freehanding that again. So that's just gonna be horizontal. Horizontal flip. Huh? Huh? Okay, what happened? Oh, okay. Moth. Moth. Nico technically also needs a little scarf. Moth. There we go. We got our 2 bona fide indie protagonists. Look at them. They're so small. They're so small. They're so small. All right. So Nico can be abstracted too small, but I feel like we could do that with Ling. Let's try it with Ling. I also have a candle on right now, and it smells very nice. It's like a Christmas scented candle. Okay, I got him. We got him working, sort of. Yeah, that's pretty close. What do you think? That's a pretty representational Ling, maybe. Let's give him hair. Nope, that is a very strong implied silhouette. There we go. Moth. It looks like a snowman. Yeah, it kind of does look like a snowman. But what if we made a big snowman, Ling? So let's draw the characters as snowmen, snow people. Yes. Mm. As I have disclaimed many times before, I'm very rusty with drawing on this tablet, and also it pulls on my tendons every time I draw. I can't get it into a comfortable position while also having my mic in front of my face. Oh, wait. Okay, let me try this. Okay, that's better. Still hurts. All right, so I'm gonna just draw a snowman, Nico. Sneeko. Wait, Sneeko is snail Nico. So we got a snowman. Normally with snowman you would put a carrot for the nose, but Nico doesn't have a nose like that. So we will just put a smaller piece of coal for the nose. Actually, what do you think? So I found a photo of myself as a child, as like 3 years old or something, and standing next to my very first snowman that my grandpa helped me build. This was a few months ago. I found that photo again, and when I looked at it, it made me cry because I was like, oh, this was me from like over 30 years ago. What the heck, dude? Right? And there was a picture of me next to the snowman. It was, okay, you know what? If I'm gonna be talking about it, I'm just gonna draw it out. I'm gonna draw out what it looks like. And it was on the rooftop, like on the rooftop of this apartment building with other apartment buildings in the background. It was like all concrete, like it had such a distinct texture to it, right? It's like, here, let me draw it in gray because that's what it looked like. Let me set the thing here a little. There we go. And it was very like very aged concrete industrial looking thing. That's probably where I got my love for that aesthetic from. And there was a snowman, and I think, yeah, in China a snowman is like, they look more like peg dolls. It's not 3 balls, just 2. And there was me standing next to it. I think it was slightly taller than me. It was me. You can tell. Wait, that's right. I'm not a child. I'm a robot. And young me looked more innocent, so I will represent this with big eyes and a helicopter hat to convey that I am a child. And then I was wearing my little winter coat because I was like 4. think I had mittens or something. I don't know. This is baby night margin.
Hello.
Anyway, the photo didn't actually look like this, but I'm trying to draw it from my memory. And then there was me standing next to the snowman that my grandpa made. I like even without the photo, I still remember what he looked like. Like he had like walnuts for the eyes, and I think buttons, and then he had green onions for like he had like little pieces of scallions for the eyebrows, and maybe a piece of scallion for his nose. I don't know. I forgot how he made his mouth. But it was maybe sticks, maybe branches, maybe more scallions, but the eyebrows were very striking. And that's that part never left my memory because I remember because I still have memories of building that snowman with my grandpa, and we were just talking about like, hey, what do we like? We have walnuts for his eyes, but what are we gonna make his other features out of? And because my grandpa really liked eating green onions, he says, oh, we can use pieces of green onion. And I was like, oh my gosh, grandpa, you're so smart.
Hello.
Love looking back on old photos. Yeah, it's very bittersweet, because and think about all the people in your life that were formative to your memories who are no longer around. Anyway, that's my story. And let's see, there were more buildings around. Okay, this was like a rooftop. There was like a little access port right here. That's how we got up there. We got a little roof access door. Here we go. We got more apartment buildings up the wazoo. There we go. Some more like commie blocks or what they call it. They're just surrounded by these buildings. One shot turn 9, right? Alright. Anyway, back from my rant. Okay, the nose actually makes it a little creepy, so let's not. Okay, we could use like a piece of onion, 2 pieces of green onions for the nose, or for the mouth. And we got some coal for the eyeballs, and then we could either use sticks or carrots for the sausages. I'm gonna use carrots, just here. Let's switch to a carrot appropriate color. Just use carrots for the sausages because it looks the shape is about right. And the eyes are coal, so they're black. Okay. Alright. Snow axolotl. Nope, it's snowball Nico. Okay, that's so the eyes are closed. What did we say the mouth was? Green onions. Yeah, but let's use the white part of the green onions so that they are not bright green. Well, this is like it's more like this color. There we go. We're making a snow Nico. Alright, we should probably put in the body first. There you go. There you got the Nico body, which still looks like an axolotl. Yes, a margin laying snowman. I can do him next. But first, let's do Nico. Let's don't forget the reason for the season. All right, for Nico, I'm gonna let's see, gonna go find a fishing hat. Um, Obviously you're not gonna be able to find a hat that looks just like Nico's in real life. Okay, unless you make it yourself, of course. So let's just uh, go go to your attic and take that fishing hat that your dad hasn't touched in 20 years. You put the fishing hat on the snowman, which is like a bucket hat. When I'm just gonna to make it more obvious that it's a fishing hat, I'm gonna put in a lure. Gonna put a fishing tackle in here. You don't want to take the tackle out of the hat, because what if your dad still needs it one day? Right? We just put a lure. Let's put another one in for good measure. Get a little fish. Little fish. But wait, because the fishing hat doesn't have ears, you go pick up some leaves off the ground. It's even though there's snow outside, you could probably still find some leaves. You could get some fall leaves in here, and you put some fall leaves on here, right? That's totally how it works. You tuck them behind the hat so as to not look like Nico. This is a bucket. Oh, a bucket would have also sufficed. Anyway, and then what do we use for the front part? We could use how about some torn up receipts from Walgreens? Just trying to think of things that one might have around the house. I guess this also looks kind of like duct tape, so if you have duct tape, use that. But I don't think duct tape sticks to snow that that well. Anyway, there we go. There's your snowman snowman Nico, made with common everyday ingredients. No, I think you mean snow. There we go. Anyway, this very cursed creature brought to you by the OneShot anniversary stream. All right, now we do Ling. Now we do. Okay, I'm gonna start with the same. Let's roll a snowball. Let's make it not super lopsided. And we're obviously gonna deal with his moth form, which means that he's very fluffy. Which means that if you're following this tutorial at home, I want you to go to your lawn and pull up a handful of dried grass. They're under the snow somewhere. There we go. We got to make him a nice fluffy moth collar. Or if you live on the farm, you can steal some hay from your horses. Alright, next we build up the rest of the snow body. No body, snow body. See what I did there? Oh, why is this... Okay, why is this tapering so much? Alright, and because Ling has a cape, you can just pretend it's one being and you don't need to worry about the rest of the face. Again, coat for the eyes. And... let's see. He will... Let's see if a carrot nose looks good on him. Maybe like this, like an Animal Crossing character nose? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Let's, what are Ling's defining features? I'm not getting to the moth ears part, the little character in the bottom. Thank you! This is my little PNG tuber. It's like a VTuber, but budget. I actually do have like a VTuber that like someone made and rigged for me a while back. I've always kind of like afraid to use it because it tracks my eyeballs, right? But I wear glasses, so it just like spazzes out a lot. Ling is very simple looking, so we could get away with no hair. Well, let's just use another piece of green onion. This is for you, Grandpa. Let's give him a nose. And he does not look good with no hair, so we're gonna... Well, first let's put in some more leaves. Let's put in some... Are magnolia trees evergreen? Magnolia trees. I feel like I should know this. So some of them are in fact evergreen, so because they're evergreen, I'm just gonna say let's go get some magnolia leaves. They are about roughly the shape of a moth ear. I know they're antennae, but okay, so we're still in winter, but now he just looks like a rabbit. So I feel like we gotta give him some hair. So you could either scope. Yeah, you could probably like scope some. Oh, actually, I know. Let's just take more magnolia. Take more leaves. Let's get more leaves. It's like has anyone heard of the comic Land of the Lustrous or Hoseki no Kuni? And in that story, the main character is named Phosphophilite, which is a type of rare gem. But phosphophilite literally means leaf. Like it means like leaf rock. So the main character's design, at least at the beginning of the story, they just look like leaves. Thank you for one shot. Aw, and thank you for playing. So yes, now he just looks like Foss. Now he just looks like Foss. Okay, well, anyway, this is, but I have to make him legally distinct now, right? If I don't want Studio Orange to sue me. Haha, that was a joke. That was a joke because Studio Orange doesn't care about Hoseki no Kuni anymore. They're never gonna make a second season. We're never getting a second season. We're never getting Hoseki no Kuni season 2. Needed a hammer above his head. Mm, let's, let's, is this how you draw an anvil? I haven't played Minecraft in like a year. I forgot what anvils look like. Wait, no, they have a little bit sticking out this side. Well, hold on. I think this is what anvils look like. Great. Yeah, sure. Good enough. Good enough. Oh, look at these masterpieces. I, I really can draw, guys. I just can't draw well on this tablet. It's all right. Let's see now. What other silly crimes shall we commit? Can we fill up this canvas by the end of the stream? Lamplighter. Alright, I'll draw a lamplighter. Hmm. Snow lamplighter? Yeah, sure. Let's do snow lamplighter. He's a bit taller. And the hat part is easy because you can just like find a ratty old hat from, I don't know, a garage sale or something. Patches and all. If actually, statistically, it's not that likely to find a newsboy hat just laying around. But you know what kind of hat you can find laying around? That's right. A baseball cap. Wait. No, how do I draw baseball caps? I forget. Let's pretend I drew a baseball cap. And we got that's women want me fish. Fear me. Okay, that's OneShot should have a sequel called OneShot 2. This time it's personal. I mean, you and everyone. And then people would say the game is called Two Shot. Oh, that's right. We could take some of some of that long grass and use it to make his stubble. Although this just kind of makes him look blonde. That's okay. Link has green hair, so nobody cares anymore. Give him an onion. Wait. He would actually benefit from those onion eyebrows. Actually, let's make him a bit longer. And also, I feel like the black coal eyes aren't really capturing his essence. So let's just like also he's kind of tilted up. I feel okay. Let's he doesn't really have an expression like this, does he? All right, let's put the beady eyes back. Wait, he has only one eye visible. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Goodbye, depth perception. Would leaves look good on him, or should I go with sticks? Okay, the rest of his body, I don't. Alright, so You want to go to your yard and find the longest stick you could get. Ideally, one that's twice as tall as you are. Let's get a giant stick like the stick that fell on my roof last year and made a hole in my roof that we didn't find out until water started leaking in it 6 months later. And then the roof inspection guys are it's like, did you know that there's a hole in your roof? And I was like, what? Because when we went up to there to check, the hole wasn't visible. Anyway, that's still probably has some fall leaves clinging to it. Sure, why not? Let's put him. Okay, let's put some sticks on his. No, that doesn't look right. Okay, you know what? Leaves it is. Let's all go with magnolia leaves here. There we go. Everyone has green hair. This is fine. Oh, so I think he could benefit from the green parts of the green onion. I feel like he has. There we go. Oh, this is so silly. Thank you. Thank you guys for giving me an excuse to shitpost. Okay. So what does the rest of his clothes look like? I forget. Some patches probably. Some oh, I know. Take a mug from your kitchen and stick it in the snow. Wait, stick it in this. That's okay. Take a mug from your kitchen. And there we go. Oh, but wait, that mug was still full of coffee. Uh, let's just write. I I heart coffee. Alright. Now he's a delicious sorbet. Right? Is a sorbet what you call when like well you know it's like a snow cone. Yeah, he's a snow cone. All right, everyone a snowman. Let's see. Oh, Alula. Let's do Alula. Let's do Alula. I mean, Alula's just gonna look like Ling. Alula's just gonna look like Ling. Hmm. Coffee snow cone sounds delicious. Yeah, I've gosh. Okay, you're making a. Okay, you made a one-shot video essay for English at one point. Aw, that's sweet. So yeah, I think gosh. So the shaved ice that I grew up with. Here, I'm just gonna like share funny vignettes from my life every once in a while now. Truly, this is what streaming is all about. Okay, so uh, so when I was a kid, this is time to bring back the little night margin. And just so that you know, I am a child. Here's me with an oversized lollipop. I doesn't look round enough. It looks too human eyeball. It looks too Illuminati. There we go. It's me, a child. And then I would be in the shop window with my grandpa. My grandpa. Yeah, and then there will be like I think it was a lady. I don't know. It was several people. Anyway, they were making shaved ice by pouring some water onto the ice. This is water, and it would just flash freeze. And then they would take a scraper and they would use the scraper to scrape the ice off. It's kind of like, I don't know if any of you have like rolled ice cream before, but it's made almost the same way except with water instead of cream. And as a kid, I loved watching it. I also love watching people decorate cakes, right? So yeah, this it was just like, so you would just end up with a bowl full of these ice shavings. And then they would pour like fruit syrup on top. Fruit syrup, red beans. Yeah, red beans were always a thing, I remember. Sometimes coconut jelly cubes. I guess it's like I have a Filipino friend who like introduced me to something called a halo halo, which I feel like is like extremely similar. But halo halo is like more colorful. It has like little purple bits, and of course it has a cherry on top. And I ate that shit up as a kid. It was so good, and very artificially sweet. Like it tasted mostly of syrup. Yeah, halo halo is really good. I need to have some again. I don't even remember if I had like a full portion when I did. I think it was like at Jollibee's or Jollibee's. Yeah, Jollibee's that I went to last year. Okay, let's see what else. All right. Okay. Have I tried pandan? Oh, that is something I've always wanted to try. Yeah, I've seen some food YouTubers like make pandan flavored ice cream or cookies, and I was like, oh, that looks good. I feel like I would. I feel like I would enjoy the flavor profile. Need to have pandan now. I know. I know. I just need to find it. I just need to find it first. It's like similar to banana leaf, right? Like in shape, not in taste. I imagine it would taste more like, has like a very herbal taste. That's the way I saw it described. Okay. Oh, Justin in the trees, right? Justin, like, are you talking about a YouTuber or are you talking about someone you know in real life? Because I've been watching a lot of the, was it Justin the trees or Justin in the trees? Yeah, I've watched a ton of his videos in the past year. Let's make the stick a little longer and put on more branches because it's funny. There we go. Just there we go. It's I'm making the stick look like the stick that hit my roof. Oh, except that stick had way more leaves. Let's just put a whole ass tree on his back. It's fine. Well, yeah, tree ice cream. Have a vendetta against the stick. It cost me. It cost me like $20,000, maybe $30,000. I don't know. We had to get the whole roof replaced. All right, bye. Happy anniversary to you. It was expensive. Like, don't be an adult. Sorry, that's wrong emote. Don't be an adult, guys. Everything is expensive. See, when you were little, if your roof broke, you're like, oh, mom, dad, the roof broke, fix it, right? And now you can't do it anymore because mom and dad aren't like aren't living with you anymore, right? This is not their house. This is your house, so you have to fix the roof. Gonna drink some water. I guess if we lived in an apartment or something or a rental, then it's still not our problem. But unfortunately, it is our problem. So we got our roof replaced, and then oh god, that was the exact same month where like my bathtub shower stopped draining properly. So we thought, and like we tried unclogging it, and it like it just didn't work. I mean, it worked a little, but not super well. So we're just like, oh shit, this clog is probably pretty deep. Let's go see a plumber, right? Oh, like a couple $100 will take care of it. And then and then the plumber took one look at our piping and was like, oh, what a hack job this is. So this is like the third time this specific plumber has been to our house, and because the previous owner of the house, so when we got our house, we got locked in at a pretty good price for the area. So, but as we are starting to find out, it was probably because the previous owner of the house messed up all the they DIY'd a lot of the stuff and messed up a lot of the things really bad. So now it's our problem to fix. I got Mario fixing everything. That is so true. Yeah, and then I remember when we gave the guy a call and he got here, I was like, you again. This house again. I see. Anyway, like the plumbing in the bathroom was very shoddily done and potentially illegal because like the person that is like the wrong kind of wrong kind of drain pipe, so they had to take the whole thing out and replace the whole thing, and that costed us more thousands of dollars than I'd like to admit. And this was after last year in January 2024, where our kitchen sink also suffered the exact same issue where it didn't drain. We expected a clog, and the plumber was like, "Yeah, no, this guy installed this sink pipe upside down for some reason." Everything and the kitchen sink. It's so true, so true. Oh gosh. So then they this year for my bathroom they had to cut a hole in the wall just to get to the piping, and we just got to have a hole in our wall for a little while, and then we got the drywall replaced, and then they couldn't color match the paint, so now we just have a conspicuous light patch of paint on our drywall. So like if you so it looks like a video game secret is behind there. But don't you dare break down my wall because that's gonna cost me another few $1,000s. Oh god. Oh my god. Being an adult is so expensive. Anyway, enough talking about drywall. Enough talking about drywall. And let's move on from this. Let's move on from this dry subject matter. As a teenager, being young is amazing. Yeah, so true. Like, especially nowadays. Like, you guys get video games, you guys get Minecraft. Although, I like. I always said that I want to have kids someday, but I want to give them the childhood that I have, you know, because I didn't really play video games much at all until like my 20s. As a kid, I mostly read a lot, watched some cartoons on Cartoon Network, I played some Neopets, mostly stayed away from the social aspects, except DeviantArt, where I like just did fun art. I was on Gaia Online, where I mostly just like I was super rich on Gaia Online from doing all those commissions. Like I did like Flash commissions, and then I learned how to code in Flash, and then I would make interactive Flash commissions where you would so the person who commissioning me can commission their favorite character. I think one of those was like a Mega Man character, and then commission their favorite character and a bunch of clothes that you could put on the character because it's an interactive dress up game. So like so you could put them in a dress, give them like different color bows, give them like accessories. I made a ton of those back in the day. DeviantArt OCTs. Yeah, actually, right after I discovered the OCT thing, I found out that Endling was really sick. You know, Endling, the godfather of OCTs on DeviantArt. He didn't start it, but he sure as made it popular. So, right around when I found out about OCTs, he had like a very serious medical emergency, and because he was a starving artist, he couldn't pay for it at the time. So like pretty much his entire fan base came together to help pay for his surgery by doing like commission drives and donation drives and stuff like that. And I was part of that as well. And I was like, hey, I already do these commissions on Gaia Online as is. I could just do I could use these dress up games too, and I did. Oh, good times. Amaranth. Oh yeah, I guess this kind of does look like Amaranth. Hey, yeah, I don't really have any other characters with banes that look like that. But for Amaranth, her signature, like characteristic part for me is the swirl. I think her entire design solidified for me when I added the swirl. And then so she started out with having like just wavy hair, but over the time just like, hey, what if I just put all the swirls in all of her hair? There we go. Let's make an Amaranth snowman. Okay. Alright, let's start out with the basics. Let's start out with a circle. Let's go okay, see. If with her old design, I would just say go grab your grandma's floral print tablecloth. But I guess this can still kind of look like her new design. Sure, we're doing closet cosplays here. All right, you want to secure it with like one of those safety pins. There we go. We got. See, how are we gonna do her hair? Alright, you're gonna want to take a donut or a cinnamon bun. Let's take a cinnamon bun and just put it here, and that look more like a horn than hair. Hmm. How do we do her hair? I'd say use a scarf of some sort, but I feel like that would look too cute. And this can't be cute. This has to be cursed. Yeah, when Steffi did the cosplay for Amaranth, she just did a scarf, and it was very cute. And it was such a smart way of like doing hair too, because like you could like shape it. You could shape it the way that you want without having to do with the annoyance of wigs. That was very smart. All right. But we are not here to be smart. We are here to be cursed. So, what's the most cursed way we can make Amaranth? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's right. I know exactly what to do. So, you know those big fruits from Asian markets, the pomelos? And then some people would just cut the peels off and then put them on their cat and give them a bowl cut. So it's a pomelo. There we go. Now it's green. Now it's a pomelo, not a watermelon. Let's put a little info here to show that it's a pomelo. And now that's green. Let's put another dozen of cinnamon rolls here, huh? How are they staying on? Toothpicks. Invisible hidden toothpicks. Let's slap a bow tie in here too. Got the classic snowman bow tie. And then I could just do some coals for the eyes. I think it would be very cute. Yeah, I think coals for the eyes would work. You got another little piece of green onion. Thank you, Grandpa, for the eternal tip. Rest in peace, Grandpa. That's another fun Grandpa tip from my grandpa. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Mr. Bunk Twitch. You're my favorite developer. Oh, thank you, but don't say that. There's better developers to be favorites, like Mobius Digital, Outer Wilds, Team Cherry, Heart Machine, Pixel. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't even program. I pay people to do it for me. Daisuke Pixel said I'm awesome. Thank you, Daisuke Pixel. I hope to meet himself someday. I haven't, but my husband has. Uh, let's see. They kind of look like mushrooms from The Last of Us. Oh, like the cinnamon rolls? I wouldn't know. I do know there are mushrooms that kind of look like that, like the like reishi or something. So it's like it's great for tea. Anyway, grandpa wisdom. My grandpa. So my grandpa, it passed about 14 years ago now. Rest in peace, grandpa. But uh, one thing that he told me that I never forgot because it blew my goddamn mind at the time. So I was eating an orange. This is the peel. Alright, this. Oh gosh, similar colored area. Hey, anti-aliasing, enclosed transparent area. So this is the orange peel. Come on, orange peel, and this is the inner orange flesh. And then between the peel and the orange flesh, there's like this white pith, and there's like all these little stringy parts, right? There's like all these little stringy parts, and before I ate the oranges, I would always pick off the stringy parts because they're kind of bitter and has a weird texture, right? And then so I picked them off and didn't eat them. And then my grandpa was like, wait, don't throw them away. These things, you should eat these. They are worth their weight in gold. And I was like, what? A piece of an orange could worth as much as gold? Are you kidding me? uh, hello. But yeah, I was, so my mind was just blown from that fact. Because then I would ask how can an orange be like worth as much as gold, right? And he's like, because gold is really heavy and like this orange is really light. So this is a very like very steel versus feathers moment. Oh, I miss my grandpa. God, it's been like so long. And like after you pass and my first time eating an orange, I got really sad. Anyway, Spotify stats. I don't know anything about Spotify, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. So basically, the only reason why OneShot music is on Spotify is that after OneShot came out, this guy emailed me and he's like, "Hey, you want to get your music published on Spotify?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I don't know what Spotify is, but if I heard that people like it, so oh gosh, I should probably upload some of my old OneShot soundtrack on YouTube, or because people said that like the OneShot soundtrack upload on YouTube got taken down a while back, right? And I have no idea why. Oh gosh, happy birthday to OneShot, please do. But see, what's your opinion on one-shot fan songs? They're awesome, amazing, incredible, and I'm always very very happy, very touched that people would make music for our game. I too love making music for my game, but a couple years ago I made a soundtrack for a webcomic that I used to really like. I mean, I say a web, more like a web series. Like it started as a webcomic, but it didn't quite finish. So, yeah. Do I have a favorite fan song? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. You're putting me on the spot here. I suppose lately, like in the past year, I would say, I really like that one. That Siva Gunner, yeah, Siva Gunner remix the off on Little Cat Feet. I think it's on Little Cat Feet, right? On Little Cat Feet with the Minecraft area math. Yeah, yeah, it's area math and on Little Cat Feet. It was it was very awesome. I love Siva Gunner. Very very cursed looking snow people. Oh, look at how much smaller she is compared to Nico. That happened in that happened in one shot too, right? Because in one shot, her sprite was lying down. So because so her sprite was just like here. Let me just illustrate this. Let me just illustrate this since we are doing this. So we got the Nico sprite, which looks more Neko arc than I remember. Got the Nico sprite. Okay. Fun fact, originally the Nico sprite was pretty was taller. Here, let me let me interrupt my story with another story. Alright? Alright. Originally, so this is the Nico sprite in the final game, right? So but in earlier builds of One Shot, Nico was more like this. It had a taller sprite, right? The reason why we went from this to this is because this is like the upper limit for a sprite box. So Silver would have looked the same height as Nico if if we didn't change. Okay. So so yeah, the demo one shot was like here we go, Silver. Oh gosh. Wait, we can even make her sprite that wide. Hold on. This will be full one shot. All right. Yeah, there we go. Full one shot. We can make Silver taller, but we're not talking about that right now. This is RPG Maker 2K3 one shot where the sprite bounding box was so much smaller. So Silver was like tiny. Oh gosh. Okay. So how was I? Think I had her like robot was how did I think it was like a skirt of some sort. I don't know. Listen, I designed Silver like when I was 10. When I was 10 years old. She was from like she was from a totally unrelated thing, but in that story also had clovers in it, and so both her and the clovers made it to one shot. Anyway, and oh gosh, that's right. Her body needs to be smaller because this, like I said, this is the bounding box for the sprite, so she needs to be shorter. Oh, this is so cursed, but this is what it looked like. Yes, she needs to be shorter. Her body needs to be even smaller. Silver is probably I mean, the her personality and everything, that's all one shot. Her personality, backstory and stuff, that's all one shot. But you know, her original design, the like the basically the concept of like long this woman with like long red hair and a suit of armor and living somewhere in space. Yeah, that was from a dream I had when I was 10. Back then I didn't really know how to draw, so I was just like, oh man, if I ever learn to draw one day, I should draw her. And then I think when I was 12 years old, I learned to draw, and I did draw her. And at the time, I thought it was totally badass. I'm gonna go see if I could find that drawing again, but it was really badass anyway. And then so I drew that when I was 12, and then I think in middle school I had a idea of like a short comic series about her piloting a giant robot. Yeah, she had like a yeah, she was like a mech pilot, and she had a giant robot that she walks like a dog. This is all the this is all the old pre one shot lore. Okay, she had the oh, I need to draw that. And then I think the giant robot also kind of made its way into one shot as the Guardians, but although her robot had like a cool hat, it had like Viking helmets, had like horns or something. I thought that would look a little bit too cool. So so yeah, And then that was in middle school, right? And then I just kind of forgot about that concept for like 10 years until one shot needed the one shot the the moon area needed an NPC, and then I was like, oh, I have the perfect character. She's been sitting on my shelf collecting dust for the for the past 10 years. Let's bring her back. There's so much pre-lore that goes into an indie project, right? So okay. I think she's actually the was she the reason? I don't know. Like this was like really early on into one shot development. Still, she's aside from Profit Boss, she was like one of the first characters we okay, this does not look like Silver. I feel like she has more of a snatched waist. Uh, also, I think I made her a little too big. No, not too wide, but too long. A little too wide, too. A little disproportionate. There we go. All right, let's see. There we go. This is how I remember her looking in the final game, except maybe more of a waist and less of a torso. There. And the legs further up. Okay. I don't think she had a skirt. I think it was like an armor thing, or it was like two. It was like plate mail. Yeah, it was like plate mail. Like like it's made to resemble plate mail, but obviously she's a robot, so this looks weird. Let's just put it back. Let's just make it a skirt. It's like a simplified thing. Anyway, in the RPG Maker 2003, RPGM versus she's my character. How do I not remember? Do you know how many characters I have? I have like over 500 characters that I need to keep track of at any given time. All right, RPGM XP. So in XP, the sprite bounding boxes are a lot more versatile. So I think even Silver doesn't quite max out the box, but she can just be to scale now. But yeah, there was once upon a time where Nico and Silver were almost the same height. And it was very funny. Anyway, the let's go back to more scaling issues. Nico and Amaranth, and in the library we had to I had to make Amaranth really small because she was like just lying down on the floor and reading a book. And here's her hair. And here's her skirt. Okay, she's not that small, but you get the idea. Okay, more like this big, I think. But in real life, she will probably be a lot taller than Nico. And okay, yeah. There we go. Let's try to recreate that sprite from memory. All right, and the book also added a bit to the sprite height, the sprite size. So she's like the size of an ant. So the reason why we had to do this was she like her sprite was on the same NPC sheet as a bunch of other library NPCs, right? And the other library NPCs, sorry, they're just a standard sprite size, so about this wide. So I think a little wider than Nico, but not much. And then I could have just put her in her own special sprite sheet that handles more width. That way she could actually be proportionate to Nico and the rest of the characters. But we were running really short on time. It had like a week before the game released, and there was still so much that we didn't get to do. So I was just like, yeah, screw it. She can just stay on this sprite. She can just be small. It's fine. It's fine. And it does make for a very funny story now, doesn't it? Oh goodness gracious. Oh goodness gracious me. Oh my arm. My arm is hurting a little bit. So I will take a little drawing break. If anyone has any fun one shot questions or trivia that they would like to ask me. Uh, was their reaction for when One Shot became popular. Um, so it was kind of gradual for us, in a good way, I guess. It like it was like it gained a modest amount of audience right away, but like it wasn't like straight like I guess what should we call it? It wasn't like a it wasn't a hurricane right out the gate. It's just been a slow, gradual build up in the past 10 years, and I'm really grateful for that because like it means like we're making a steady income to both help finance margin, although margin is being kept afloat by Kickstarter money right now, thank God. Okay, so one shot money is here to help me pay for emergencies, like that time a branch fell on my roof. Or, for medicine and Bleako's asthma medication. And Nico's World only cat people. I actually haven't thought too much about Nico's World. I know it has cat people in it. How so Markiplier, I think internally we had a word for that. It's called the Markiplier multiplier, and that explains like the big spike in sales about 3 months after the game released. I was ecstatic. Well, ecstatic as in like I was really happy. I guess because like I have some friends who really like Markiplier, and I think I watched him play off in Year Walk, and that was the extent I knew of him at the time. I just knew that some friends really liked him. Felix was one of the friends, and I was actually, yeah, that was like he played it the like the like he played it he played it in the few weeks after Felix's accident. So at the time I was still still in shock over the whole thing, and I was just like, and a lot of people were just like, oh, it's too bad that he didn't get to see it, and I'm sorry, I don't want to make the stream too sad, but there's a lot of things I wish I could have shown him. Anyway, what was I talking about? Markiplier. What advice would you give to someone? What advice would you give to someone to make their own indie project, whether it be a game, animated series, or comic? So that's a bit of a long question. I'm gonna answer that later. Okay, but I'll put a pin in that. But it's clarification. Is Solstice canon or not? Well, we made it. We made it. It's there for you to play. Yeah, it's good to reminiscence. Thank you. Thank you for that. Ugh. Was your biggest annoyance and struggle with RPG Maker 2003? Oh, definitely the sprites, not only the sprite size limit, but also the tile set limit, because like the tile sheets in RPG Maker 2003 especially are so small, and I don't like small. I like big. I like getting a sense of scale in my game, and even for one shot, sometimes it feels like not enough. So Margin will have a. I'm really happy with how Margin's assets are turning out right now. Near Ninth, developer of Skyless Blind, check them out too. And Near's been like such a huge help with that, because like they are like nailing the atmosphere, and I'm really happy that we have like more artists on the team now, and I'm just not working out my ass for 12 hours a day like I did for one shot. Anyway, yes, video indie game development tips and tricks. So to get started, you wanna like reach inside yourself and ask why. Like, but the why is, you should pretty much ask yourself this when doing anything. Why do anything, right? But for a psychology class, thank you. Well, you have to. You know what they say, right? You to make an apple pie, you have to first make the universe. So why do you want to make a game? Like, are you here to tell a story? Are you here because you like programming? I don't want to write out programming because my wrist hurts. So I will represent programming with C sharp. C sharp, maths, maths. you want to make mechanics somewhat tangentially related. I will represent. I will just write down mechanics. I'll write down mechanics. Like, do you will you say, there hasn't been a game about tea kettles boiling. I need to make that game, right? Right? But like, why? Ask yourself why. Why you want to make game? Why you want to make a game? Why do you want to make an indie game? And for story, why do you want to make a story? Do you want it to to make your OCs real? OC real? That's where I am. This is the me zone. This is the me zone. This is the me zone. OC Rio. OC Rio is your main motivation. Okay, do you want to make your OC real, or do you want to make your, I don't know. Well, let's see. Do you want to just make cool world buildings? That is also me. I'm not gonna draw me again, so pretend. Okay, I'm just gonna draw the rest of my body to occupy the me zone. There hasn't been a game that gets harder every completion until it gets impossible, or there it. I feel like that's every roguelikes. Isn't that roguelikes? Or like there are many games that like do scale with like here's mechanics and math games, scalable like scale difficulty depending on performance, right? You get good difficulty scales with get good. Yes, so this is a pretty common design principle, I think. I know Gary used it in like his game jam game in test a while back, and that implementation is very simple, I think. Basically like the game drops more heals if you are bad at the game, and it drops less heals if you're good. But that's like a very simple example of scalable difficulty. All right, let's see. Were Calamus and Alula's original OCs, or were they designed for OneShot? Good question. They were made concurrently. Like so here you go. I'm just gonna use this as my whiteboard, okay? Pretend like I'm a teacher at a community college, which was my backup career option, one of the many. Anyway, oh shoot, my laptop is about to run out of juice. Let me get my laptop juice. Be right back. Let me also get some let me get some human juice. That came out wrong. That came out wrong. But I mean tea. Hydration. Hydration. Okay. Juice for humans. I do not mean blood. I do not have a guy in my basement right now that I'm drinking his blood for eternal youth or something. I don't know. Do I have bodies in the fridge? I have a body of water. A small body of water, but a body of water nevertheless. Anyway, be right back. Let me get juice for my laptop and myself. I might actually get some real juice. No, that's too much sugar. I'm gonna get some water. Okay, I'm back. Sorry that. Oh, sorry that took so. Sorry that took so long. Okay, so what happened was I went downstairs. I remembered I made tea, but the tea is cold, so I went to heat up the tea. And then when I tried to heat up the tea, the microwave broke, and I was like, "Ah, wait, I know what happened. It tripped. It must have tripped the breaker, as it often does. So whenever it trips the breaker, the microwave stops working. So I had to go into the scary garage to flip the breaker again and fix the microwave. I mean, it's happened enough times that I know what to do, but it's still a process. Scary garage. Oh yeah, we have spiders in there as big as your hand. It's I don't know if they come out in this sweater, but like one time the girl did see like a spider, even in winter. They come in because it's warm, but they're most common in the fall. Yeah, we get some pretty massive spiders and smaller spiders too. Like those are I think those are like mostly like little web weavers, orb weavers, and whatnot. Or they like to hang out in corners and make cobwebs. One time I remember bringing in like a piece of furniture from the garage, and there was just like I think I found like two or three spiders on that thing. They weren't very big spiders, but they were spiders nevertheless. Don't kill them. Oh, kill. It's Carl. I try not to kill spiders if I can, but sometimes, as my friend says, they violated the contracts of not going inside. Yeah, if the spider is like small and slow enough, and I normally I would like to like keep it in a like trap it in a jar, bring it outside, and get and then they immediately get eaten by a bird, and I get to marvel at the circle of life, etc., etc. Okay, but at least the bird's having a good day. Anyway, what was I going? Something about. Oh right, Calamus and Alula. That's right. So this is a fun story. I've told it many times before, but I assume some people are new, so I will tell it again. So this was in 2014 spring. All right, that was a good spring. Very busy, but very stressful, but quite fun looking back. Here are some classes that I took that I remember. I think it was plants and human affairs. Taught by a guy with the most badass name for a biology professor. His name was Professor Steve Darwin. Anyway, there's Steve Darwin, and then I think I took a. Was it the. Did I take invertebrate biology with. Yeah, invertebrate. Yeah, marine invertebrate biology. Oh, that was John Caruso, whose name I just recently remembered. Caruso. And then there's ornithology by Professor Flurry. And he was such a cool guy. Like he's like the imagine like the best professor you can think of and multiply that by 10. Like he was like so chill and funny, and like but he was also really old. He was like already in his 70s when he taught me, so like I miss my professors. They were fun. And then I was also this was 2014. I think I was already working in the fungi microbiology lab now. It was like a plant. I just call it the symbiosis lab. Why am I giving you my life story? Because I can. And also it's funny. Symbiosis lab. I think that was like my first year working there still. So they don't put me in for the big boy duties yet. I don't get to extract DNA or do anything more important. I just get to pour agar plates all day and like isolate the samples. Anyway, so for ornithology, gosh, what's Flurry's name? I think it started with an M. I don't know. Okay, anyway, yes. Ornithology, that's the kicker, right? So, marine invertebrate biology. That one, that class was so meaty and dense. Let's move Amaranth a little out of the way so you can. Okay, that class was so meaty and dense that like we have to memorize like, gosh, a lot of species names, a lot of like species, like parts of species, like I don't know, carpals, metacarpals, whatever. All the legs on like I don't know, sand fleas and crabs, and yeah, that one has like 500 ish vocab words. It was like learning a new language. And ornithology wasn't nearly as bad, but it was still like a decent amount of vocab. So vocab. So we still had to like memorize like an anatomical parts, like what different parts of the wings are. So which brings me up to here's so we studied bird anatomy, and this is kind of like, we got our primaries, we got our secondaries. These are the primaries. They're like the biggest feathers on a bird, and then these are the feathers that the birds rely on most for flying, right? And then all this bullshit up here that I don't remember what it's called. Yes, bird anatomy. Thank you. Okay. And anyway, I think primaries. Yeah. So the primary feathers are what the birds rely on flying, but they also have a little thumb right here. It's like a little bone protrusion with a single tiny feather. It's called an get ready. It's called an alula. Alula being named after a bastard. So true, right? So true, right? So alula, and I thought, hey, that would be a cute name. That sounds like a cute name. Anyway, and then of course with each feathers, we also have to study individual feather anatomy, right? See where I'm going with this? All right. So so like bird feathers is like especially primaries. They have this funny thing where they like one side is wider than the other, and then we have like the little things, and each one of those feather bits have little barbs that hook up to each other. Anyway, cool stuff. Look up a feather under a microscope sometime. So this part right here, I guess the whole shaft part is called a calamus, and that's Latin for reed. For reed. And alula is Latin for winglet. Because I think the A makes it diminutive. Because I think it's Latin. I'm pretty sure it's Latin. Yeah. It's because wings in Latin is like a. Here, let me look it up real quick. How do you say wing in Latin? Okay, not quite. So okay, okay. So it's definitely in Latin, but I don't know like because I remember when I was learning it, they just said it meant winglet. It's Latin, so I don't want to spread any misinformation, but that's just what I remember. All right, you're gonna dip. All right, thank you so much for joining the stream, and yeah, happy OneShot anniversary. Anyway, calamus, alula, both Latin words, allegedly, both Latin words, both relating to feathers, and so I was like, hey, these names would make really cute names for a pair of bird siblings. And then that was spring of 2014. So OneShot was already not in official development yet. Eliza was like messing around with some prototypes and then stopped. And then I think we were brainstorming about Nico a tiny bit, brainstorming about the character. Like I think we decided to bring in Silver, but I was like, hey, these characters will be like cute ideas for bird siblings. And then back then I didn't have design or anything. I was like, I don't know if I had OneShot in mind at the time, but I was like, if I were gonna make them, I'll probably at least stick them in OneShot, right? and I ended up like designing them on paper because the ideas from their designs came from another bird, from some another fun bird fact, right? From like what you call it, from like different bird feather patterns, and then there was this one bird that I saw that I really liked. I can't quite draw it. Let me see if I could Google it. Was it a cedar waxwing? It might have been. Cedar. Okay, come on. Cedar waxwing. Cedar waxwing or shrike. One of those two. Anyway, it was like it's the bird that has like they have like little bandit masks, and it looks adorable. Yeah, sharks are the evil. They don't just stab things; they impale things. Yeah, they put a little bug. Uh, they put a little bug uh, on like a piece of really sharp branch or a barbed wire, and they put. There we go. They're not evil. They're just resourceful. anyway, yeah. So we studied like some bird patterns. This is for like for identifying birds in the field because we did quite a bit of that too. We went to some of the where I went to college. It was near like some of it was like in the middle of a migration route, so it was near best bird watching some of the best bird watching spots in the world. So we got to see a lot of rare birds, including a frigate bird. Those you don't just see anywhere. And I got to see a bird that it looks like a cartoon bird that you would see in like a children's horror movie or a haunted house or something. There we go. Let's see. I saw a bird that was like all black, and it had a red eye. Which looks kind of like Arma from Castle of Nations, but it's not a crow. It's called a brown-headed cowbird, or bronze-headed cowbird. Wait, nope, nope, nope. Never mind. Bronze-headed cowbird actually has a bronze-looking head and regular-looking eyes. Then, what? Okay, it was a cowbird. It was related. It was cowbird. Red eyes. Yes. No, it's called a bronzed cowbird. That's right. Bronzed cowbird. Yeah. And it just looks like that. It looks like a cartoon. It's awesome. Let me find the copy image. And I got to see one of those in real life, and it wasn't even on the test. And it was just like, cool. There we go. That's what it looks like. See, look at that. It looks like a cartoon. Okay. And then anyway, why are we talking about? Oh right, Calamus and Alula. So we went to a bird watching. We did quite a bit of bird related activities at one semester. Ornithology, like all these all of these classes have like a lab portion, and for ornithology lab, it's just go outside and look at birds. Field trips. That's they had us waking up at ass crack in the morning, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., because that's the time that birds are most active. So I'm just like, whoop, it's 3:50, 4 in the morning, time to get up and get on a bus for like an hour, 2 hours to go into the middle of the forest and let's look at birds. So I'm just so to understand like a lot of where OneShot things come from, you have to understand my spring of 2014. That was a fun year. Yeah, that's a okay. I'll get to Magpie in a bit, but I'm still in 2014. Magpie was like 2015, I believe. All right. Anyway. Okay. So right, so we went into the middle of this forest where our where most of our bird departments worked, and or some of our bird department work anyway. Just imagine like there's like this forest trail for, I think, mostly scientists. Here's some trees, lots of grass, trees, the little trail in the forest for you to walk through. Okay, that's what the forest looks like. I'm gonna make it green to make it more obvious that it's a forest. Is everyone enjoying story time with Night Margin? We're not even drawing one-shot stuff anymore. We're just explaining to you the backstory behind, not even backstory behind one-shot's development necessarily. But okay, so imagine that on both sides of the road, for like a literal mile, there's just like these very thin mesh netting stretched out on the sides of this little forest path. Right? It's like it's about as tall as a person, maybe a little taller, a bit taller than a person, but I think having it be the height of about a person makes it easier to set up. So let's draw a person for scale. All right. So this is like a very thin, very soft net called mist netting. Okay, and then it's called mist netting. Let's draw more forest in the background to to make it look like it's not walking off a cliff. All right, there the path continues. It's just foreshortened. Okay. Anyway, this is called mist netting, and its only purpose is to catch birds. So we just we just get lots of angry little birds who just like fly in the forest and gets tangled in the web and get really mad. So like it's not set up every day, like all the time. Obviously, like I think they have to like set it up. They have to pretty much do the whole thing and then redo the whole thing every day, or like I don't know what their schedule is, but there's just lots of little birds tangled in those webbings, right? So, but they would set this up in the middle of the night, and then they would come back regularly, send out a team of the undergrad and PhD students to check the nets, and then they would catch the birds. So what they do with the caught birds, of course, is that they check them for disease, any population trend disease. They put little leg bands on them to like help track the population. It's like a whole conservation thing, right? It's less bird torture and more just bird annoyance, because because they have a team of people checking to make sure the birds don't get tangled in there really long, and also the netting is like really soft. So and also they get to go like they're in there for like a minute, couple minutes, 10 minutes tops. People are always walking back and forth to check that birds aren't hurting themselves by thrashing too much. You watch Rio right before the stream. I don't know what that is, but yeah. So they would. Here we go. We got the guy holding a bird. And here's a little leg band that go on onto the little bird legs. So yeah, this is what they do in the forest, right? They just catch a bunch of birds, and it was very fun. We got to do some of that. It was like part of the field trip, and I got to hold a bird. I think because the professor was teaching us how to check for things like parasites, right? And I got to hold a bird called a white-eyed vireo. And it was very cute, very striking. It had like a white eye. Looked something like this. 1 second, copy image. Come on. Hey, I need to get a good Google image. Come on. I need to get a good Google image. Banding grip. We also got taught how to safely hold birds. I'll get to that in a second. There we go, white-eyed vireo. Okay, let's see. There we go. Oh, that's a big photo. It was a very striking looking bird, right? Like, look at its eyes. It looks like a googly eye. But yeah, I got to hold it for a bit in a banding grip, and I think in a photography grip. It is a bird of all time. And then when we were done checking him out for parasites and whatnot, and I just let him go. And I think I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember if it was my bird or someone else's bird, but like we let him. We walked away from the netting and let him go into the forest, and he just flew straight back into the netting. And then we had to like free him again. It was very funny. Happy birthday, Nico. Oh, thank you. You can't listen, so you're trying to guess what we're saying. Okay. Ah, good fair. All right, in that case, I will write it out for you. I'm actually no writing. Writing makes my wrist hurt. I'm talking about my college. I last year of college undergrad, which was the semester during before we made OneShot 2014. Okay, 2014. And so 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 many things in OneShot were directly based on that action. Wait, why am I sad? Action pack I had. Okay, there we go. It's a story about birds blowing up a building. Thank you for making OneShot, and thank you for playing OneShot. Alright, so anyway, that was my experience with birds. And I think I also think female cardinal. Maybe cardinals? I don't know. And then I promised the magpie lore is I think a year later, after I graduated from masters, I think my parents actually drove to like a neighboring state on both of those years to like visit a friend or something. And then on one of those trips, we went to a parking lot and I saw some magpies, and then I thought they would look really neat. And then, cause Magpie the NPC wasn't made until 2016. Well, technically he existed in the 2014 version, but he looked a little different. He wasn't a magpie yet. He was kind of just a nondescript looking NPC. And then, so for the final game, I wanted to make him stand out a little more, so I changed his design. And also because like Almond did do the artist Purple Almonds, which was like an honorary official OneShot artist. She did some of the merch and some of the wallpapers. She drew like a fan art for OneShot in before the game released, and she put the merchant as one of the characters on the poster. And I was like, oh, now that you've drawn fan art of him, I have to make him into his own actual character now, right? But then I changed up his design to make him look a bit more unique. Oh, the character design is some of your favorite in all indie. Thank you. Yeah, I think I guess this goes to demonstrate, right? Like a lot of ideas for character designs can be found in nature. So, I had a whole class about it. And then so Calamus, Alula, and the bird people are based off my class. Maze was not mine. Maze was made by Eliza. But she did have kind of she based her off of corn. Like the corn maze. Okay. Oh great, now my tea's cold again. But I think I'm okay with lukewarm tea. Okay, so that's Magpie's backstory, and also the bird children, and then in one shot there's like these little shrimps, right? There's this little glowy shrimp. I don't know I don't remember what they look like. You think I remember what a shrimp looks like, right? But I had them like have a little jelly capsule, and that's what gives them the glow. Or not a jelly capsule. It looks like jelly, but it's probably just like the same keratin or chitin. This fried rice glow in one shot. I don't think these shrimps are the edible kind of shrimp. So what the one shot shrimp are based off of are a real type of sea creature called an ostracod, which are also called a seed shrimp. And they look quite different, but I did for their designs I did borrow the big the capsule. And here's an ostracod. Thank you Google Images for coming in clutch. And this is what they look like. And they do have this bioluminescent blue glow. Designs always give you joy. Thank you. Yeah, so they look like this. They don't look like actual shrimp. If you saw them, you would not think shrimp. Actually, here's another picture of them close up. They actually look quite funny. Here's of them from a different angle. Look at that! It's like Eggman, right? Doesn't it look like Eggman? It looks just like Eggman. It's a creature, right? But they are not microscopic. They are, what, I don't know how big they are. Size of a pea, maybe. I don't know. Ostracod beach, but you probably recognize them more like this. Like oh, that's a small photo, but this is a here, what's a let me get a better photo for this. Yeah, it's a so I think not always. I think sometimes they are like these glowy beaches are other glowy creatures like dinoflagellates, but a lot of the times they will be ostracods. So when you look at this pretty, this pretty glowy beachfront, just imagine that there's hundreds of thousands of little Eggmans in there. Which just so someone next time you see someone, that's a fun bit of trivia. That's a fun bit of trivia you can now share. Little Eggmans. Egg water, so true. So this was the inspiration behind the Barons in One Shot. And now we can move back to silver, because look what I found. Look what I found in my files. Look at that. This was from, let me just write down the date. Spring 2005. So I was like, what, 12? Yeah, 2005. So this was one of my first drawings in Photoshop. And then, gosh, the JPEG compression. Oh, this was like a re-upload. So the JPEG compression is I think back then I was still drawing with like a binary pencil or something, like one of these. But JPEG artifacts aside, yes, you did not exist back then. Thank you for making me feel old. Ha ha. So this was not my first attempt trying to draw her, but back then I was like first starting to learn digital art and art in general, and being very glad that I could finally draw that dream I had many years ago. So I will actually sketch out what that dream looked like many years ago. So this was a dream that I had when I was 10. So it was like really, here, let me Just gonna do it live on television. Live on national television. So I had a dream, and then hey, clipping group. Come on, what? Hey, come on. Why you no work? Why you no work? Thank you. All right, cool. Okay, yeah, it looks somewhat like this. Now keep in mind, I did not draw this. This is actually my first. Okay, I did not draw this digitally, at least. This was in my dream, and then, like there was this like robotic, like this robotic night woman. Here, let's just. She had like bright red hair. That's what I remember. Bit less blue because in fact, okay, anyway, yeah, she had, and she was holding a sword. That's what I remember. And then I don't know, stars in the background or something. And most importantly, in the dream, this was from an anime. So there was some like text. So there was some like Japanese text that I do not know how to write Japanese. So yeah, you could just pretend this is like Japanese text, like credits or something. And yeah, it was a dream that looked like that. And me being 10, the next day I tried to draw it out with pencils. It did not look very good. it looked it did not look very good. So this is actually my first time ever, trying to recreate this composition. Oh, an ad. Oh no. Oh no. Shoot. Ad in progress. Okay. Oh, I need to stop giving important lore. Okay. All right, let me repeat what I just said for ads for censoring the stream. So yes, so this was a dream that I had when I was 10, and then I think in my dream it was like an anime of some sort, and this text right here was like a Japanese text that was like part of the credits or something, and there was like this robotic knight-looking woman holding a sword, and she had bright red hair, and that's like those are all the details I remember. Not cut me off, right? So yes, so and the next day, like I was in elementary school, so I tried drawing it out in pencils, and it did not look very good. Okay, so this was in Dream from 2003. This was spring of 2005, and by 2006, she was in like a comic. I drew her like she was a comic, and like I remember the cover looking something like this. Like her robot is here, and then she had. Did she even have her sword? And all her like she had like friends on the side. She was, and then she had like there's like this really cute girl, and also a guy friend that I do not remember anything about him, but I remember there was like this cute rich girl who was like her best friend or something, or a rival. I remember nothing about that comic series. I just remember wanting to draw like a short comic about piloting a giant robot. And this was 2006. And then I didn't really think about her for like 10 until like 2014. And then so in 2014 one shot. So in 2014 Eliza asked the okay, she didn't I don't think she okay. So here's my how I remember. In January of 2014, I believe, we were brainstorming on what the first big area of OneShot would look like, and Eliza wanted to be desolate like a desert, and I think she pitched to me the idea of a desert at first. Wait, this was actually in December. December. Hold on. Yeah, December, because the concept art I did was already not a desert anymore. So she pitched the idea of like she wanted the first area to be a desert because it would make sense for it to be desolate and no one's around. She she wanted to feel very empty, and then I was like, that I do agree it should feel kind of empty, but deserts are normally like yellow, right? We can't have yellow in our game because of the sun. So we can't have, and also like it's a top-down game, so all you'll be seeing is yellow. So I pitched to her the idea of like, what if instead of the desert, it looked kind of like on the surface of the moon, but also underwater, because like it's like specifically the the hypothermal vents and stuff. And so we took that idea and ran with it, and that's why the area had craters and hypothermal vents. Because like you're not actually underwater in the game, of course, but we wanted to kind of sell that desolate, barren vibe. So in OneShot, these craters ended up just being brine pools, and they're brine pools where little shrimps live in. And because and the hypothermal vent thing is I think it's because is because for those marine ecosystems, the vents give the vents give all the little it's the base of the food chain in the deep ocean where there's no sun, right? It gives chemicals equals food. So they get gobbled up by the little plankton, and the little plankton get eaten by things like sea cucumbers and crabs. There we go. Biology lesson jump scare. Yeah, I'm here. So I'm talking so much about biology because the semester before I made OneShot, like right before we made OneShot, so a lot of things in OneShot were like very inspired by those classes. Love the variance. It feels desolate while not being completely empty. Yeah, that's that. I'm glad that you think so, because that was the vibe that we were trying to get across. Like I think so the original Barons was like, here we go. I'm just here. Oh gosh. Oh, the canvas is technically filled. I've technically whatchamacallit, my contractual duty of filling this canvas is done, but because I'm having so much fun and reminiscing about the past, I will keep going. So originally, for the 2014 version of OneShot, right? The Once you start in the Barrens in like the solo train cart, and then the little outpost is here, and it was just one big map. It was divided into like 8 smaller maps, but the idea was that it looked like this. And silver was here. Silver. And once you start the game, you could okay, so there was 1 second. There was the vents area. Do not. So you can't cross the vents area. And I forget how this area is blocked. Oh right, so you can only go this way. Yeah, you can only go this direction, right? And once you get to this direction, you get stopped by Profit Bot, and you get a lore dump before you can continue towards the rest of the map. And then somewhere here you find the gas mask, and gas mask. Let me just the gas mask. What you will call it, which lets you bypass this area. So after the gas mask, you can go either talk to Silver here, you can talk to Silver there, right? And it was very confusing because pretty much the entire map except this part is unlockable right away. and and also the different, there's like the different puzzle pieces. I think the here's the robot. Here's the robot, right? Here's the robot. So in this area there's like two major puzzles, right? So in the 2014 version there's the battery, and then there's the cleaning, what's derusting. And in the 2014 version, the battery was also for the robot. So we are doing a lot to help this little guy. What plugins did you use to make the fourth wall breaks? They weren't plugins. They are like system code, I think. Yeah, there's just like system functions. They're calling system functions like draw like whatchamacallit. Gosh. I wasn't the programmer. There's a OneShot had two programmers, Eliza during the early parts and Gur in the later parts, and then for World Machine Edition we have an additional programmer, Noxid, who also did the writing for the author in the journal. So Windows system costs, yeah, stuff like that. Windows 32? I don't know. It's been a while. Okay, anyway, so the 2014 layout was quite confusing. So the 2016 layout, that one was actually pitched by Gur, who did not like the 2014 layout. Like, he was a playtester back then. He was not even a developer, but his feedback was very crucial. So, gosh, where is... Hey, why is my... Oh, okay, the ruler. The devious ruler, 2016 version. So we moved some things around. So we moved silver here. We added a secondary event zone. So now the map is divided into two halves. So the battery puzzle is gonna be the first half, and the chemicals is gonna be the second half. And instead of the battery going to a robot, we decided to make imply that the battery works on a remote technology. Like once you power the generator, it kind of sends out like this wireless electromagnetic field that powers every robot in the area. And I think that made it like really like it whatchamacallit. I like the sense that it gives you like very visible progression, right? Because in the original, all the robots except Robot and Silver, and I think there a Guardian. I think there was a Guardian too at some point. Yeah, I think there was a Guardian too. Wait, no. Yeah, no, I don't know. Did the 2014 version have a Guardian? Yeah, I think I actually talked to an engineering friend I was talking to at the time if this kind of tech is possible, and and he said it's technically possible. So it has some basis. I'm not just pulling things out of my ass. I promise. Anyway, so I want the game to feel like, I want the player to feel like they did something important. So by putting in the battery in the generator, all the robots around who aren't broken will get up and walk. And I feel like, that it felt very satisfying, because then you have, right, it's like you do a mini goal on top of this other goal of trying to get across the ocean. Anyway, yes. Progression markers. Alright, so I've been rambling for a bit. What else do you want me to ramble and draw funny little diagrams about? Would the World Machine have had an image before Nico came? The World Machine was mostly just the little pop-up boxes. So, not a form that you could easily comprehend as a person, I guess. How did Nico manage to explore the world of OneShot without shoes? What are you talking about? Nico has shoes. Yeah, those are Nico shoes. I just don't define them because I'm lazy. But here I draw Nico's feet like this because it takes me 2 seconds. But they're all black, right? So what it basically is that they're wearing pants and then black shoes here, and I just chose to omit the line. Okay, talk about Alita. To find out more about Alita, play Margin of the Wishlist Margin of the Strange on Twitch today, or not Twitch. Oh my gosh, on Steam. Yes, on Steam right now. There we go. Yes, a lot of my characters have like very squarish looking heads. Okay. Her hair looks like an explosion. Gosh. Let's see. I changed her design a bit over the years. Now she has a jacket. There we go. That's a good silly character. She is one of my oldest characters. I made the first version of her all the way back in 2004. Although that version of her isn't really around anymore. Leader. Leader. What's this thing about strawberry? Oh my gosh, that's a niche piece of lore. Okay, so for in 2007, I think someone I was following at the time was making their own stationery, and I was like, that is so cool. Right? I want to make my own stationery, but back then I didn't know anything about offset printing or anything like that. So I think I just drew my own mock-up, and then yeah, and then like it was like strawberry themed or something like that. It looks like this. It was very cute. Hey, what? Why is it not drawing? Oh! Is it low opacity or something? What is this? What's going on? One sec. Okay, I think it's just light. All right, let's draw. This draw was. Let me try to think. Oh gosh, I was like, no. I swear. Maybe after the game releases and there's enough demand, I will do a whatchamacallit, a remaster of that concept. And it was like, I don't know, it looks like this. And then something like this. Oh gosh. This is some very niche lore that you guys are referencing. Wow. Okay. I suppose everything's on my DeviantArt because I haven't really touched it. Most of my friends deleted their accounts already, but I can't do it. Even if it's crawling with AI now, yeah, I'll probably keep it that way. Cause it's hard to delete memories. Uh, hey, why isn't this? Ah, ah. Oh, right, of course. What? Okay. Sure. Anyway, why am I trying to recreate this stationery? I don't know. I don't know. I actually really got into journaling in the past couple years, journaling and stationery. So if I make something like this, it will be right up my alley. It will be. It's my birthday gift to me. All right, and then in that one, Alita was also there, and she was holding an umbrella. Except I think she was like chibi, so she's like this big, and then it's like this. I don't know how I remember this. This was like what 2007. She looks like a Peanuts character. Yeah, a little bit the way that I draw her here, but in the real thing, it's like it's my 2007 art style, which is like very more. It closer resembles the to the old cartoony art. Like it more resembled this style. I miss my old cartoony style. It was very characteristic of that era. I think okay, there we go. Okay. She wasn't smiling in the original one. I think she was like her original iteration was a bit more of a grumpy character. But the is gosh, that's not her name anymore. The princess is more the cheerful character. Actually, no, I don't. Okay, no, her face still looks fine. I kind of like how her face looks here. Alita has Amaranth umbrella. She just has a umbrella, I think. I think it was like a black umbrella, maybe. Wait, Amaranth's umbrella is also black. I don't know. Maybe it was a pink umbrella. I don't know. And then it was raining, but all the rain is pink because it's strawberry milk. And I think there was a strawberry somewhere. There we go. There we go. That's there you go. That's Alita's strawberry lore. Oh, memories. The topic of OneShot. Bless You Rip. Oh yeah, so Gur did all the music in Bless You Rip. That is something we want to go back to someday. Not right now because Margin's huge. Gur is also working on. He was also working on another game called Marlowe. He was working on it before Margin, and then we don't know when he'll release it yet. He just because the Margin money allowed him to work on Margin full time, but Margin has a team, so like he's mostly just there to monitor the team and help them like do whatchamacallit merges and stuff. So he's not the lead developer. Actually, I don't think any of the programmers are the lead developers. The tasks are spread pretty evenly across people because I want to make sure everyone gets whatchamacallit. Everyone gets a fair share of work. Yes. And then whatchamacallit? Because Margin has a 4 programmers, including Gur, but it ended up having 4 programmers because at the start of the project, like most of those programmers had like day jobs, and then and then like like a couple years later, 2 of those programmers, so one of which is Gur, quit their day jobs to like focus more on Margin, but because so now we have full-time developers, but also we don't really exactly want to like tell the other programmers that we now have full-time developers, right? It's so we can't. I'm tripping over words. Basically, we have four programmers doing the work of like 1 or 2 people because like most people still have day jobs. And that's when you have that many programmers working on a project, it managing a code base could be really tricky. So that like most of Gur's work ended up just being that and an implementation of like cutscenes and whatnot. And then lately I'm also taking on more like just the implementation stuff. See, Ironwork is the saxophone song. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so Margin's gonna be our next big project, that's the because it was kickstarted, and then Ger's working on another game called Marlowe. He's been posting it about it on social media for the past 10 years, and then and after those two games, we might go back to Rip. I'll have to see how Margin does. But Rip is like one of Ger's first big projects. That's not a mod. That's not a cave story mod. So at the time he only knew how to make like these platformers that are like combat platformers. But now he's like now that he's matured a bit more in his skills, that might not be a direction we go with anymore. So like the characters and world building will be the same, but like the exact genre might change. Thank you for the explanation. No problem. But yeah, a game development with multiple programmers, not easy. That's source control. Source control is very whatchamacallit. I still can't wrap my head around source control. I don't know how programmers do it. Y'all are absolute mad geniuses, and I respect you. Okay, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Okay, it's so cool seeing the Zomne Doodle on Halloween. Has there been any new Imogen art? I think I had some old art of her I've done like a year or 2 years ago. Okay, I'll draw her again. Oh wait, no, she. Yeah, I think I did like a really good doodle of her like a year ago. I'll try to see if I could capture that energy again. It was so good. Okay. So the inspiration for her character, it was originally just the she was originally just a alternate outfit for Izamne, but eventually she became her own character, and one of the inspirations for her character is like, well, she like the old version of her character was like a vigilante of some sort, right? Because back I made her character in 2010, and in 2010 I was obsessed with the Watchmen. Really liked the comic. Hated Rorschach. I found him really annoying, but you know, he grew on me. It was like, oh, this character sucks. He hates women. Anyway, but you know, okay, and then there we go. Uh, no, I need to move her bangs down a little more. I'm trying to do that one because I did like a little doodle of her on my iPad during a car ride or something, and it has such an energy. It looks like this, but it's like better than this. Okay, and then a little pinwheel. Mm, get a little blue in here. It's like holographic. I think yeah, for the longest time her pinwheel was actually red. I'm actually still not sure how I feel about the color change yet. I had to change the color for story reasons because like once upon a time margin was supposed to be monochromatic, and the only color that's used in a waking world is red. But now that's no longer the case. Now we have the whole gamut. So, okay. So we can explore more options. I really like the combination of black and pink, but also it's supposed to look like one of those holographic pinwheels. Like I'm not not sure yet. I'm not sure what color to make her final. Maybe it changes. Maybe it changes like a rainbow kind of thing. This is very cotton candy. So you know what? Let me. Okay, let's add a little red in there, I guess. I think the last time I drew her in full color, it's like still red, but also with these iridescent colors. Like I really want to incorporate more iridescence into her design, so like the contrast of the black outfit with like a more shiny, like what you call it, like a holographic texture. That I was like really into. Oh, the old Flash trailer. Yeah, that one still rules. That one still rules a lot. I think. What you call it. Mm. The story is a little different back then, but still like a lot of the beats are still the same. They just had to like be condensed down and modified for the 6 week format. Because in a game, like originally the margin story was like it goes across the span of years, right? Like it was like between 5 and 10 years, I think. Yeah, because like I intended for the ending of the comic to be set like many years after. Like you're supposed to be spending a lot of time in with the characters, but you know you can't do that in a game that only has 6 weeks. So we'll figure something out. Oh boy. Margin. Margin of the Strange. A lot can happen in 6 weeks, indeed. I don't remember what I was doing 6 weeks ago. So it's December, the second week of December. Okay, so 4 weeks ago was the second week of November. Okay. All right, 6 weeks ago I came home from Japan and I was probably throwing up throwing up on the airplane. That's right. That's what I was doing 6 weeks ago. Wow, that was not fun. Let me tell you. You're making a story. Ooh. How do you feel about the old margin now that I'm making it? I mean, like I said, it's like a very gradual thing, right? So, like, I don't know what point of margin I would consider to be like where it stopped being old and started being new, you know? Like, I guess, like, maybe the start of the development of the game, but also not quite. Let me just, illustrating all the visible layers right now. Let's give you like a margin timeline, huh? It's like I don't want to obviously give out too much about this game, so but you know it's fun to talk about. Okay, we got our start, we got our finish. Our finish is 2025, and we got our start in around 2004. Okay. 6 weeks is 1.5 months. Okay. Okay. So 2005, first character made. She was from a different story. Okay, and then I would say 2021 is the final version. Final game version. So, still got quite a bit of meat between this, right? So, let's see, we got 2012. 2012. That's the webcomics start. Or flat. Okay. Okay. Webcomic animated. Okay. Web flash comic launch. Okay, level 5 final game version. All right, this is this here. Let me use a different color. So the 2014 to onwards. That's called the OneShot hiatus. This timeline isn't to scale, by the way. Hiatus, where I just didn't touch margin for a while. And then I think here's 2008. Shit, I'm drawing all the ticks on the timeline. Now I can't move them around. No. Anyway, 2008. This was the web comic current story. Current story. Alright. This is when Ling started being the protagonist. Alright. So, yeah. So this isn't to scale because a lot happened in those years. So, the first version of Aelita looks something like this, I guess. She had like big hoop earrings and then I think she was like some kind of like dark superhero type thing. Yeah, I was like really into superheroes at the time, so it was like because of Cartoon Network showing things like Teen Titans and Justice League. So she was like some kind of dark superhero magical girl kind of thing. And then in 2005, I really got into fantasy, like high fantasy, dragons and stuff. So she changed her design slightly to no longer being a superhero. Like, she now has a cool sword. And then I think she also got a cool anime hair. Not super cool anime hair, but you know, the anime hair regardless. And then around this, oh gosh, this is not to scale, is it? This is not to scale. All right, I need to scale down that, okay? And then super high fantasy. High fantasy. Yeah, Aelita, the name came from I believe it came from like an old Russian sci-fi novel. Because like I think it was like the it was the it was like a fictional name, but it's like the name they have for like the Queen of Mars. I think that wasn't even her name back then, but I think I named her Alita because it sounded cool, and also she likes space. It's like Cedric. Cedric is also not a real name. Like I think it was made up by like a writer. Was it Shakespeare? Evil ad is invading. Oh wait, no, ad just happened. Ad just happened. Yeah, I can't. I was about to say, let me just run an ad and I just not talk for a while. So here's 2007. I think this was when she like more resembled her modern form, but yeah, no, 2000, no, 2005, 2006. Okay, let's. Why is this? Okay, come on. Sorry, you guys, you guys came in here for OneShot, and here you get the entire timeline for Night Margin's old OCs. 2007, there we go. A lot happened in those years, in those early years, okay? Not like this old hiatus where I just didn't touch it for a while. But also, I could talk about the early versions because the stories don't look like that anymore. So 2006 is where she, like, I think where she got her crazy. Was this where she got her crazy hair? I don't know. Anyway, the 2000s, she still has a sword. Okay, and then in 2007, I was in high school now, so my high fantasy phase is over. I was really into like goth Victorian webcomics at the time, so I got rid of her sword. Hello. And now it's like,
Margin.
yes, it's margin. Thank you. Now it's everything is like got ghosts and soul magic and stuff. I don't know. It's like goth. Okay, high fantasy. Still. Okay, 2007, 2008. Now it's goth. Now it's goth.
Goth fantasy.
Dark fantasy, sure. Yeah, it's dark fantasy. Anyway, so high fantasy still. Now it's goth. Current webcomic story 08. So this was when she stopped being the protagonist and he started being the main protagonist. So this is the transitional era. Oh, right. Also, in this little era, Link's little sister was also the protagonist for a little bit before I realized I could just tell a better story from his perspective. Let's see. Let's get her little ribbons. Get her little ribbons in there. So fun story about Moo. I'll talk about her later. Talk. Remind me later. Okay. So so I think around this time I used to draw her a lot in just illustrations. She was a fun character to draw. She has a quite a simple design with like a nice coat. Uh, yeah, and also she has that very indie game character shape, right? She had like a little red coat and that looks like a triangle and like little feet. There, I'm just drawing her. Let's see. Does she have like ears? Okay, little braids. Mm. I'm not drawing out her braids. I'm just gonna simplify. Got little ribbons. There we go. Very abstracted indie game red triangle shape. Anyway. Let's not. So this was like the period of time where she was like in illustrations. Because like she would be very easy to draw in like air like what or I just want to draw like a background heavy piece and just stick her somewhere in there. You know, it's like indie game character design. So okay, so this was so she she used to be her sister. Like those two used to be siblings. Back then, Ling didn't exist. And then, but this version of Alita does not have a sister. This version of Alita just big chillin'. Okay. They stole the protagonist cards and stole the story mandated sibling. That's so true. Anyway, this is old margin backstory. Now, let's talk about Moo a little bit. Okay. So, so this is a character I've been drawing for like almost 10 years. Oh, not okay. What you call almost 20 years. But 10 years ago, this was a character that I've been drawing for almost 10 years. Okay, and she got her little ribbons. She got her little hair, little hair, and her red coat. Okay. Okay, actually, I'm just gonna showcase this by drawing her in slightly more detail. If I remember how to draw her hair. and I think she had like ears. I don't know. I don't know. Like I remember her ears being part of it too, but what? Hmm. But although sometime I just took made her ears more covered because she has these ribbons, and it was a little distracting. It's like the same story of Nico, right? You gotta take away the ears. I don't know. Like I don't know what her last design looked like. Okay, and so this was the character design I've been drawing for like regularly for a long time. Notice anything familiar? Okay, here we go. Let me just spell it out. Let me just spell it out for you. Okay. Right. Mitosis. Yes, thank you. Let me just spell this out for you. So yeah, basically plagiarized myself. When OneShot needed a protagonist, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just stealing her outfit, but making a few changes. Oh, Moo had little fur bits on her shoes. I think. Oh, there we go. It's literally Mew too. Because it was already like a character silhouette that I was comfortable drawing. That like so all right, she did have like hands at first, and that's why Nico also had hands. Anyway, that's mitosis. That's mitosis. Also, Nico's colors are different. The jacket instead of a reddish burgundy, I changed it to a brownish burgundy. Now it's indistinguishable. And instead of having pockets on the sides, I put the pockets on the front. But yeah, here's a bit of fun design lore for Mewtwo. Yeah, the little things here, like I think I don't remember what intention I had, but I feel like they would probably make the most sense as pockets. So you could probably put a half-eaten pancake in there if you wanted to. You know, no one's gonna stop you. Thank you for this night. This is Sophie. And her half-eaten. Right? I can't believe I let myself get away with plagiarizing myself. Okay. But yeah, she's got a very, a very drawable character design that's good for sticking into desolate looking places. Like Nico is a fusion of like two of my old characters. That's why I kind of nailed it on the first attempt at designing them, just because I'm just like, okay, I need to take two existing OCs and smash them together. Not like that. Not like that. Oh god, those are children. Okay, I take two of my existing OCs and then nuclear fission them together. Somehow that's better. It's like what's like alchemy, or you should call it anyway. My other OC is named Mouse, which is funny because they were based on a cat. Let me try drawing Mouse, drawing their current design.
Hello.
Oh wait, Mouse is a human, doesn't have a cat nose, but no, his mouth looks more like that. And then he had more like curly hair, I think. He had no eyebrows. That's oh gosh, I haven't drawn him in like 10 years. And then I think his current design has like, gosh, the little cat ears. Yeah, it's got like it's like little cat stripes on the sides, and those are like little paws. I don't think I even posted any art of his new design. Alright. But, and then, I think the first design I ever had of him, he did have like a cat with like little cat ears on it. Like, maybe like this? But during the comic, that was kind of like a flashback of him. Like he had like he stole like a hat from a police, and then he scratched out the word police because he likes to collect cool hats. And then but that was kind of like the flashback version of him. That's the version of him I used in the OCT forever ago. But and I think I had little badges or pins. I don't know. Maybe it would look like this. I need to go find the sketch, man. I miss these characters. I miss them too. I was working on this game in the RPG Maker back in 2013, I believe. It didn't get very far, but I think I made like 5 areas. Yeah, like the whole thing with Mouse is that like he changes his hats all the time, and I thought it would be funny for like this innocent child to like straight up steal something from the police, and then like, but he doesn't want to get mistaken for the police, so he scratched out the letters. But like he has a very chaotic energy to him. This is not novel. This is Mouse. This is So I was telling people how the Nico OneShot is basically like a fusion of two of my older OCs. Makito comes. I'll draw him again. If I have to say like if there's any one of my characters who's like a self insert, I would say probably Makito is the closest. I too hate going outside and get sick all the time as a child. There we go. There he is. And I'm I keep saying that like I would love to go back to this story, but I can't anymore because there's a game that called Little Nightmares that came out and is extremely popular, and the character looks exactly like this, and I'm just like, damn it, damn it. Like, why do everything I love die? Will there be a VOD of this stream? Probably. Okay, this is a good stream to VOD.
Hello.
Just make the green coat green. Then it won't look like a raincoat. It would just look like a coat. Lore enthusiasts going wild. Yeah, the one shot anniversary, talking about lore that isn't one shot. Well, like before one shot, I did have like other stories too, right? And I think like some of that influenced what went into one shot. Like one shot's specific world building details was inspired by like my biology classes, but like some of the more general concepts was just straight up from margin. You, you'll see what I mean when the full game comes out. It's they are thematically very similar stories, and also this whole thing. Oh no, better make Castle of Nations real before something big exactly likes it comes out. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's, Indigo Park, dozens of others. Like yeah, like haunted amusement park genre is its own thing now. And also Silent, like even before, way before Castle of Nations, we had Silent Hill 2, or not Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3. Yeah, that's the one with it had like a spooky theme park and the creepy mascot, and also like real human blood, and you find a dead body there at one point, and also I think the carousel horses come to life and fight you. So creepy theme parks. That's a whole thing. That's a whole genre. Like like I like Castle of Nations because I love creepy and abandoned theme parks too. Like it's just so evocative. Okay, thing. Oh, do I remember Emeralda? Do I? Oh my gosh. Okay, another old Night Margin lore. I think I made the story when in my last year of high school. Let me see if I could Night Margin redrawing all old OCs from memory, the ones that I have not drawn for many years. Okay, I think she had sunglasses or something. Yeah, she had. I think she had like blue shades, so because she was blind, and then her eyes were always closed. She looked like this. Okay, how do I draw her? And then she had like curly hair. She was like a music themed OC that I had. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. And then she had like a bonnet. Oh gosh. And I think pigtails? I want to say pigtails like I think like this was like a steampunk short story that I wrote back in high school. I say wrote, but the draft that I had was lost to the sands of time. And this is the only part of her I remember. And then I wrote some really good music for that story. I think some of it is still on my YouTube, I believe. This stream is really fun. Yeah, talk to me about my ancient OCs. Gosh. Yeah, because I made these characters just as I was starting to like write music more seriously in FL Studio. So I got into FL Studio 2009, and I made these guys in 2009. So yeah, the dream sequence music in One Shot actually came from like actually came from a song that I wrote for this story, and then I think what was her lore? I think she was blind. She was it was like a steampunk world, and then it was like a world that where like music has been used as like a weapon for a war. So like it so they have to like go around and show people that music can also be used for good. I don't know. It was stupid. Like a lot of like something about music and like mind control or EMP attacks or whatever. And then and then there was a character who drove a tank that was also a piano, and ah, that man, like I have a lot of OCs. I have a lot of old long forgotten OCs. I love world building. Like once I make a character, I don't just stop. I'm just like, okay, this character now needs to inhabit a world full of colorful characters. So every time I make an OC, I end up making 20 more. This is it's a problem. The Moonlight Party Arcade. The think whatchamacallit, the Lolita fighter game that me and Gur made in like 5 days. 3 days. He was for his school project. This what's her name? Polly Pockets? No, Polly Pockets. Wait, that's a real thing. Oh my god, am I gonna get sued? Like I think it's like Paula Pockets Petticoat or something. Like this one's like she's like a bat, and then and she this one is about like goth Lolita fashion characters all having like their own gijinkas, and they have to fight each other in like a battle royale type situation. What does her eyes look like? I have no idea. uh, but like I don't remember what she looked like. She's like the representative for goth Lolita, and she's a bat because she's goth. And the series is now going to be called whatchamacallit. I came up with a stupid name for it. Well, a new name for it called it was like what? It had EGL in there as a pun. Okay, cutie gladiator. There we go. Cutie gladiator. Okay. Griffles. There we go. Ruffles. Let's change up the title. The logo is gonna be like yeah. I came up with a new title for it a while back. I was probably gonna have it because this is a really fun idea for like a fake fighting game that you would see in the background of something. Ruffles and ruffles and ruffles. There we go. That's the new logo. Work in progress. Dream versus Dream. Oh, I so remember Dream versus Dream. Good times. None of the characters were mine, but good times. I will draw. So Madotsuki was the first character, but like Sabisuki was also in the game. I'm gonna draw Madotsuki. Okay, she looks like. Oh gosh, I've drawn her so much, man. I've like I ended up being the animation asset manager for Dream versus Dream, and I was like, man, I joined this project to be a background artist. I joined this project to be a background artist, okay? And then like, but the animation team was like pretty much non-existent. And I was like, how are you gonna make a fighting game without animation? Like, yeah, we got people voice acting them. We got all the areas, like a lot of the areas already done. That's cool and all. How are you gonna make a fighting game without animation? Right? That's like for any of you the fledgling indie devs out there. That's you know, you gotta, if you make a fighting game, you have to think about the animation before all else, because if you don't got animations, you don't got a fighting game. Forward slash slash. Oh, that is so true. That was from the April Fool's version. All right, and so we got Madasuki. We still got some red on the palette, so we could do forward slash sideways. I still got it. Sideways. Hello, welcome, welcome. Okay, there we go. Oh, goodness gracious, I've been streaming for 3 hours straight. Shall we call it a night? I'll probably stream again on Thursday or Friday, whenever the Sky anniversary events open. Or not the anniversary, what am I talking about? The Sky Christmas event. Right. Paula, it was Paula. Her name was Paula. There we go. There's like Paula Petticoat. Yeah, Paula Petticoat. And she had the Lolita headband, which. So here's the thing about Lolita fashion. I think I already talked about this before, right? But like the type that I grew up with, like I read like on like, you know, the type that I'm familiar with, that's actually considered retro now. So like you know, the solid black with lots of white ruffles, or solid red with lots of white ruffles, or solid red with black ruffles. I think all of those are considered to be retro now, which makes me feel really old. So like most modern Lolita are all like printed patterns. I have quite a few of them, some of which I do not fit in anymore, which makes me very sad. At this point, I feel like I'm just collecting the dresses just to collect them. I in the past I used to wear them out to like more to like parties and formal events and stuff, but now I'm just worried about getting them dirty. I think I wore my pirate ship dress. It's like a dark blue with gold ruffles. I wore that one to like a fancy Christmas party that one time, and then someone was like, "Is that Alice and the Pirates?" And I was like, "I think it's actually a different brand, but the vibes are there, right?" I don't think I actually have anything from Alice and the Pirates. Lolita fashion is expensive, y'all. Like it's I'm not super into it, because like I'm at that point of in my life where I just want to like be comfy all the time. So like the last time I went into public in Lolita, like going to the restroom, like we went out into a picnic, right? And the restroom was like super dirty, and I didn't want to get my clothes dirty, so I had to like, you know, just it. See, now this is why like right in Victorian times, like like the fancy Victorian ladies all had like ladies in waiting and whatnot, because I swear to God, you need like 2 other people helping you just to get in and out of the thing. All right, so we got. Let's see if I. What was the other character? What was her rival's name? Rosie? I think it was Rosie. I'm pretty sure it was Rosie. Oh, wait, that looks too much like Amaranth. Did Rosie have flat bangs? I don't know. Or does she have like more cute, like more ruffled bangs like this? I think she had more ribbons like this. That still looks like Amaranth. No, she was a rabbit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. They're all animals. This is like RIP universe characters, technically. This one's angry. She's kind of a snob. I know I have redesigns of them somewhere in I have a lot of like drawings in my sketchbook that I never scanned. This one's angry. Like I made like 20 of these characters, okay? Like one for every style of a Lolita that I knew at the time. This still looks like Amaranth. Yeah, I know. I know. Everyone looks like someone when they're so abstracted. Like I think one of the characters was literally just like a horse. Like she was like a very like realistic, not quite realistic, but like she was like a furry horse. And I think she was like country Lolita, and she was just there. Nobody questioned it. So like she had like what's like either a strawberry or an apple motif, and it was like she had a red dress. Oh, that looks like blood. No, that's not blood. That's not blood, you guys. That's a dress. That's a beautiful dress for a beautiful little horse girl, or I guess college aged horse girl. These girls are all in like magical girl college or some bullshit. Absolutely normal horse. Yeah, she was just a horse. It's like the apples or something. I don't know. She was like country Lolita. She had a very nice dress, and then I think the sailor Lolita was like a seagull. I don't know. It's been a while. I'm pretty sure I've only drawn these characters once, and it was like as concept doodles. I see. There's the Kuro and Shiro Lolita. They were like cat twins. What else we got? What else we got? Sailor Lolita, Elita Core. Unfortunately, I don't think she would be into that fashion. Like she would be more like aristocrat OG if anything. Oh, wait, no, OG and aristocrat are different. Oh my gosh. Like back in the day, OG referred to like a very specific look, but nowadays the I think the terminology has broadened. So like I feel like she could pull off like the more casual types of OG or certain types of aristocrat, which is not it's related to Lolita, but also its own thing. I don't know. I don't know my fashion lore anymore, man. It's been years. I don't think I even had a good grasp on it back then. I just looked at whatever came on my dash and looked at all those dresses that I couldn't afford. Okay, what other characters do I remember? Oh right, in the game there was like this flying squirrel. I think she looked like this. She had like these huge eyes because flying squirrels had huge eyes. And then like a round bob hair, and she was like a Walolita. And I chose flying squirrels because flying squirrels are native to Japan. Let's see, am I getting the Y right? Okay. I think that was actually one of my favorite designs to come out of that. You can tell because I'm drawing her so much cuter than everyone else. I don't even remember what her name was. I think it was like Peachy or something. Like, wow, Lolita. Not to be confused with Wa Lolita, which is the Lolita that Waluigi wears. There we go. Very cute, very Toho. Yeah, it was like it was like this whole universe was like kind of stupid. I wouldn't call it stupid, but like it's like a franchise within a franchise. It's a franchise that existed within Rip's universe. It's like in Rip's universe, it's like this arcade game. It's like this IP that like went from arcade game to like a Super Smash Brothers clone to like or no, it went from like arcade game Toho clone to like an arcade fighter to like a fighting game series to now that it's been another like 12 years, I'm gonna say the next step for this franchise will be gotcha. It will be like a gotcha game. You just know it's gonna be a gotcha game. Oh my gosh. Collectible, marketable characters. But yeah. And then so I'm just gonna label them. Goth Lolita. I'm not gonna write Lolita out every single time, and I can't call it Lolly anymore because that's weird. I'm gonna call it Law. Wait, you're not Goth Law. You wouldn't be caught dead in Goth Lolita. You're a sweet. No, no, this just looks like an exclamation point. Ta wa Lolita horse country country Lolita. And then I also had like there was a sailor Lolita. I don't remember what she looked like at all. And there was also like a Mori girl. She was a deer. But Mori girl is actually like not a thing anymore. I heard from one of my friends who used to be really into it. Because it was pretty big back in the day, but nowadays I think it's just like folded in with like cottage core fashion. I don't remember what she looked like. Did I even design her? But Mori girls are like, it means like forest girl, and it's just like, it's a, it's like a very calm looking style. You have like a scarf, you have like, it's very cute grandma looking style. What does she look like? Oh my gosh. I had an idea in my mind for her. I remember her looking really chilled out. Maybe more like this. There you go. She got like the wrinkly, curly hair. I think she had like deer freckles. Maybe a ponytail. I don't know. I don't know. She had like scarf. She had like a long skirt. I don't know. But Mori girl technically isn't part of Lolita, but I should call it. But like it was adjacent. But nowadays it's not. Yeah, I don't think people use that term anymore. Speaking of things that make me feel old, right? All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, I've been streaming for over 3 hours. I think it's time to call it a night. I will draw one more celebratory Nico. There we go. One more celebratory Nico for the occasion. Everyone say happy birthday, Nico. Well, no, actually, technically, Nico's birthday is on the 28th. That's because that's the day I first drew them. That's the day I made them. But everyone say, happy job day, Nico. Happy the day that you got a job. Happy the day that you got a paying job. Because the 2014 version was it was not, it was non-commercial. It was like pretty much a early access tech demo or whatever people call it, right? So 20, so 9 years ago was when Nico started paying rent. So that's the year where Nico stopped living in my head rent free and started living in my head rent full. Yes, this happy day you got a paying job, Nico. Happy me finally starting to pay off my college loans, Nico. Thank you, Nico, for helping me pay off my loans. Very, very important. All right, let's I feel like Nico should be holding something. Uh Oversized lollipop? No. Flower? No. Butterfly. There we go. Nice, nice. December 8th, 2025. Buttermoth, so true. Thank you for making Nico. You changed your life in a good way. Thank you. Here's to both our lives being changed by Nico. Says me, the person who got my loans paid off by this child who pays rent. Oh man, Nico's gonna set up so many unrealistic expectations to like me having real children now. Have you seen the lamp art? You're not talking to me. Never mind. Okay, can't give it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start winding down now. If anyone has any last minute questions, I will probably not be drawing them unless it's a good question. Oh yeah. How did you come up with the pancake episode recipe? Oh yeah, that recipe I developed when I was like what was like the week before the anniversary, because I just know we wanted to do something big for the 10-year anniversary, and then I was like, I'm gonna make a recipe and then release it, and then I was like, wait, this isn't good enough for the 10th anniversary, so we ended up making like an entire game out of it. Originally I wanted to like just make an animatic where like that has like game screenshots, but Ger's like, might as well make it playable, right? And I was like, shit, you're so right. Anyway, so I made the pancake recipe by I came up with it myself. I didn't really like use any existing recipes too heavily. I think it was like partially referenced from like a Japanese recipe for like fluffy pancakes, like the really jiggly ones, but it's like one step below that. It's not gonna be nearly as jiggly. And the reason why I chose to make it like a more meringue type pancake is because the flour I was using, it was gluten-free flour, and with those you normally need a little more help with the lift. So, and I figure like, making it a meringue pancake would make it fancier. But of course, like if you have pancake mix, you can just like stir some like whatchamacallit, hazelnut flour in it, and it's not gonna give you the same texture, but it's gonna give you roughly the same flavor. And then I was like, why stop at pancakes? We could take this a step further. I'm also gonna give a syrup recipe and a topping recipe. Basically, the whole thing went out of hand. I still have the printout of the recipe somewhere around here. Yeah, I think the recipe went through like 2 iterations, I believe, when I was adjusting the ratios. Oh, that was a fun day. Me going into like 3 nearby grocery stores to try to look for hazelnut flour, and none of them had hazelnut flour, so I had to like. But we were lucky enough to even find hazelnuts out of season. They were not cheap, but it's so I ended up making the hazelnut flour myself, and then I debated about like making a step in a recipe to on how to make hazelnut flour, but I was like, nah, this is getting way too high concept, huh? This is a little too much. So you can probably buy hazelnut flour online, right? I just made it myself. I like putting it in my food processor and like using a sifter to sift out all the big bits. Margin cooking episode with Amaranth. God help us all. Am I gonna cook pancakes today for Nico? I'm not supposed to be having that much sugar anymore, and I just had my. Did I fill my sugar budget today? Actually, oh right, I didn't. Yes, I was supposed to get froyo after my dentist appointment, and then I did not get froyo because my mouth was so numb that I was like, oh, if I get the froyo now, I'm not gonna be able to enjoy it. I will get it later. And then for dinner, we ordered takeout, and I was like, wait, maybe I'll get the boba instead of the froyo. And then so Ger drove to the place, and they didn't have boba because of the aforementioned car, the car going and destroying the car driving into the side of the restaurant, destroying their fridge incident. And then so they didn't have boba, and by the time got back with the takeout, it was already too late for froyo. And so I didn't get to have froyo today. Sad. Very, 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 very sad. Here's an emote of me being sad. Okay. Could tell you the birthday of the characters in OneShot. I have no idea. The OneShot characters operate on a completely different calendar. Only Nico has a birthday because I remember the day I started drawing Nico. How did I find myself engaging in fan content? I think they're super cool and super sweet. And then if I remember to use social media more, I like sometimes I would share them because I think they're cool. But I've been using social media less and less because the less distractions I get, the better. I really want my project to move along faster. I've already spent years on margin. I don't want to spend any more time. But yes, but the pretty much the only reason I even go back to social media is to to see say fan art and tell people how proud I am of them. Except probably not in the replies because I realize that might be a little weird. I don't know. I can't help it sometimes. Okay, I think people deserve to be told that they did a good job. Murphy's Law of Talos, so true. Oh my gosh, Murphy Law of Talos. He's a good character, man. I don't even know if his comics are archived, but that's a good character arc. He was very funny. Murphy, remove your law. So true, bestie. All right, then well, if no one, I found a few archives. Oh right, the Law of Talos comic archives, right? Was it the same archive that we're both thinking? It might be the same archive that we're both thinking of then, because there is a pretty well preserved Google Doc with the archive version of the comics. And then I think I made like a Carl version because the Carl one is very hard to read because of the mixed media aspect. Oh, Carl. I swear one day I'm gonna get an orange cat and I will name it Carlfield. Carf for short. Because I couldn't decide between Carl and Garfield, so they get to be both. They get to be Carf. Carfy. Carfy is a really cute name for a cat. My margin comic is also preserved. Yeah, it's someone uploaded on YouTube, which I'm very grateful for. But unfortunately, I think there's a bug that makes the audio slightly desynced. So if I could ever figure out a way how to actually make the audio not desync, I might also upload my own version for archival purposes. Does Nico have a fictional character they obsess over? I don't. I have not thought about it. I feel like Nico would really like cute little mascot characters like a Chikawa or something. All right, I said no more drawings, but you know what? I'm gonna. You mentioned Chikawa, so I can't not draw a Chikawa now. I love Chikawas. I followed them for I followed the artist for like a really long time, for like years, and now they're like the new Hello Kitty. It's kind of surreal. This is how okay. I'm trying to draw me drawing Chikawas from memory. Okay, okay. The eyebrows are too big. They have little dots. Oh right, they don't have noses, do they? Do they have noses? I don't think they do. There we go. That's a Chikawa. I love Chikawa. They are. I haven't seen most like the rest of the series aside from what my friend showed me, but I just like the characters as mascot characters. They are very whatchamacallit. They are the new Hello Kitty. There we go. There we go. The blue cat's my favorite because of course the blue cat is my favorite. There we go. The eyes are closer together. Not bad from memory. Yeah, but I followed the artist on Twitter for like since 2020, I think 2019 or 2020, one of those. And then I really like their art, and and I was like, oh boy, these characters are so cute. I hope they make merch someday. And then like a couple years ago, I went to Japan, and they are just everywhere. And I was like, wow, glad, good for them. Okay, they have little stubby little legs. I think. Oh no, that's not how a Chikawa body looks. Okay, no, they are very round and small. There we go. That's close enough. Same thing for Mofu-san. That's also another artist I followed a long time, but and I always wished that they would make merch, and now they are like one of the most merchful IPs out there, which I'm very happy about. I'm just like, yes, yes, give me all the stuff. All right, let's see. Now let's try doing something. Because you know who else is a blue cat? Wait, no, the hat is too detailed. There we go. I mean, this still could be Hachiwari. They could just be cosplaying. Alright, there we go. There we go. Hachiwari and cosplay. There we go. I love this creature. It's a very good creature. Okay. Alright, should we end the stream on this, or is it too funny? Alright, okay, well. Funny ending. Funny ending. Good. Oh, there, oh gosh. Oh, I've been streaming for almost 4 hours now. No wonder why my shoulder hurts. Alright. Yeah, thank you all for coming, everyone. This is my waiting room. Thank you all for coming, everybody, and happy 9th anniversary to OneShot. And check out the web store if you haven't already. We set up the web store to sell the physical copies. Physical copies sold out in like 2 minutes. We didn't have that many to begin with, but we still we still didn't. Oh boy, so yeah, but we still have plenty of everything else. Here we go. Farfay at bigcartel.com. We don't have the 10th anniversary bundle right now, because it's not the 10th anniversary. It's the 9th anniversary. But the different anniversary. And then but we have the One Shot Cafe, we have the pancake episode merch. We have like the keychains, standees. We have a pillow, and then we have some orbs. Those are from my old convention merch. And then we have a new spinning standee. That's like it's very legally distinct, non-branded, brand agnostic robot vacuum. It spins. It's very cute. And then let me actually link the video to you. Alright, there's like a YouTube embed. Come on. The sold out collector's edition. Yeah, if you missed it this time, there will be more chances in the future. It's just a little hard getting shipping logistics. And because I would love to dedicate just like a year of my life trying to like get these physicals moved to like do it myself, but I can't. I have games to work on. Because right now the only physical editions that for sale in the store comes from our own personal backlog, the kind that we normally bring to conventions. But I figure it's for people who won't see us at conventions. We might offer some limited amounts on sale on the internet. But it's really hard getting those shipped out because they're so big, and we are not warehouse capable. Yes, but yeah, we'll try to make another run or two at least. At least. But yes. All right. All right. Anyway, bye everyone. I could talk all night, but I really shouldn't. Bye bye. I hope you all have a lovely evening and a lovely rest of December. I will stream on possibly Thursday or Friday because that's when the Sky Christmas event starts. All right. Sayonara. Adios. And what's another word for bye? All right. Good night.